Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to the Lee Valley Whitewater Centre. It's the first day of racing here in Super September, the British Open 2017, a great festival of paddle sport here in the sunshine at Lee Valley. Lots to entertain everybody. Not only have we got, obviously, people on site, but we've also got people watching on the YouTube channel live. And welcome to everybody. And we are underway with the racing. So to start off with, on the Olympic channel, we have the slalom qualification. It's the British Open 2017, a prestigious event that takes place annually. Traditionally used to take place in Llangollen in North Wales before moving to Nottingham. And then when this great facility was built as part of the London Olympic Games, then the British Open moved here as the pinnacle event of the domestic season. So the athletes are racing in reverse order of their national ranking, and we have 96 athletes in this men's kayak category, the first of 5 categories racing here today in the slalom event. 96 competitors will get 2 runs, but only 40 of those athletes will qualify through to tomorrow's semi-final. And so on the first runs, it will be the top 30 after the first runs will go through to the semi-final. Automatically, they then get a rest, and anyone who hasn't qualified through on that first run will get a second opportunity to do that. But, of course, only 10 places up for grabs on the second runs. At the moment, it's Ewan Davis leading the race, bib number 98. He is from Serendure Canoe Club. Lead time 1:36.07 seconds. So early start time at 96 competitors racing in this men's K1 event at 1 minute intervals in reverse order. So of course it's Super September, part of the British Canoeing Super September series of races. We've had the September Regatta up at Home Pierpont at the beginning of the month. Then we had the Canoe Polo National Championships again at Home Pierpont in Nottingham last weekend. This weekend, the focus is on here at Lee Valley Whitewater Centre for the British Open. And next weekend, we'll have the Hasler Finals. And then the final event of the Super September, which actually I think slightly falls into October, is the freestyle event in Nottingham. So plenty of activity, and you can follow that. You can keep up to date with what's going on at British Canoeing. That's the best place to follow the action on Twitter, and of course you can engage in that hashtag Super September. So what else is going on today here on site? Well, obviously we've got the qualification runs for the British Open semi-finals tomorrow and finals. That's on the main channel here, but there's plenty of other things at the moment. We've got raft racing going on the Legacy channel down the bottom part of the course, and there is the opportunity to have a go at rafting at midday today. So get yourself down there if you want to sign up for that. If you're on site and you don't know what to do, or you want a bit of information, then get yourself to the British Canoeing event tent on the middle of the Olympic channel, the British Canoeing event tent, and you'll be able to find out all information that you need to know. We've got freestyle coming up on the Legacy channel at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Then we've got a boat across competition, or the first round qualifying at 3:30. That takes place on the Legacy channel, and then the boat across final is at 8 o'clock on the main channel. So lots to go, and if you're here on site, then you want to have a go at paddling, well, you're in the right place, because at 10 o'clock we have a number of have-a-go activities. So you can get on the water yourself, maybe get on an ergo if you don't fancy getting on the water. Qualified staff will guide you through, and you'll be able to experience this great sport of canoeing. So that's 10 o'clock on the lake. You'll see the British Canoeing tent on the side of the lake, and you can get yourself down there. And there's no charge for that, and those qualified staff will give you a great experience. So Super September, very much in full swing. Great conditions here for racing, not a lot of wind, a little bit fresh this morning, but the sun's shining, and the athletes will make up for it with some hot competition on the water. In this competition, of course, we've got Joe Clark, the Olympic champion. He will be going off down the run. We've also got the other athletes in the Great Britain senior team, Chris Bowers and Bradley Forbes-Cryans. Of course, that senior team using this race as the final opportunity to fine-tune their racing before they head out to the World Championships in Pau in France. The World Championships are in a fortnight's time, and the Great Britain team go out, I think it's this coming Friday, ready for the final preparation on the Pau course and into the championships. So we wish the British team every success at those World Championships, and of course it'll be interesting to see how those athletes are in this final qualification or final opportunity to really get some race practice. So let's start looking specifically at the who's on the water at the moment. Well, the leaderboard at the moment has changed. Joshua Lucas is our race leader from Lee Valley Paddle Sports Club, ahead of Ewan Davis of Serendur Canoe Club and Jack O'Connor of Lee Valley Paddle Sports Club. Those are the top three at the moment, but it is still early days, and all of those competitors are paddler-ups. They are Div 1 paddlers, taking this opportunity to paddle up, score some points, but also get some great race experience in front of some top paddlers here. So not only have we got people on site here, so a very warm welcome to those people on the site here, and let's hope you enjoy your day. Plenty of action here and things to do to enjoy here on site at the Lee Valley Whitewater Centre, but also this is being streamed live on YouTube, so if you're watching on the YouTube channel, a very warm welcome, and we hope you'll be able to follow all the action. And of course, if you think you're missing out on some of the action, then there's still time to get yourself down here to the Lee Valley Whitewater Centre. Free entry, and you can really get close up to the action and watch it, whether that's today or tomorrow or both days. That is your call. So if you want to get yourself a bit of Super September merchandise, then there are T-shirts on sale at the British Canoeing event stand in the middle next to the Olympic Channel, near the marquee, near the catering tent. So Super September T-shirts are £12. So get yourself a T-shirt and get yourself a part of that. And apparently they're limited edition, so you make sure you get one before they sell out. You can get yourself a Super September selfie, and don't forget you could always hashtag Super September alongside that, and follow all the action on Twitter at British Canoeing. Also, it's a bit of an event village in the middle of the Olympic Channel, so why not go and see some of our exhibitors. We will have Red Bull on site shortly. There's bull rafts. So bull rafts, great supporter. Go and see Hoopla, great supporter of the British rafting setup, and displaying not only their rafts but some of their water safety equipment. We've got Hydra Sports on site, well known to the slalom and canoeing community. So get yourself down there and see Steve and his team there on the Hydra Sports stand. There's Tent Box above and below, and Cotswold, key partners for British Canoeing, Cotswold Outdoor. And I believe if you go to the British Canoeing stand, there is a competition, an opportunity to win a £50 Cotswold gift card. So get down there. I'll make sure I go down there a bit later on and get my entry in. So a £50 gift voucher to be had. That's from the British Canoeing event stand in the middle of the by the Olympic course from Cotswold Outdoor. And For those people who want to meet an Olympic champion in person and some of our top athletes, world and European medalists, then we've got an opportunity. 1:30 today. Get yourself down to the Lee Valley Whitewater Centre, because you'll be able to meet and get up close and personal with some of our top athletes. And I'm just looking to see who is on the schedule for that. Well, I believe Mallory Franklin, Joe Clark, the Olympic champion, David Florence, a triple world champion, triple Olympic medalists, Kimberly Woods, who is the European champion, and of course Mallory Franklin. I didn't do her any justice there, because Mallory is a multiple world and European championship medalist, and she is also the under 23 world champion from 2017. So what a who's who of canoe slalom, really. That's at 1:30 at the British Canoeing Stand. But of course, don't forget, lots of other activities. Have a go at paddling and just enjoy the great atmosphere and the environment here at the Lee Valley Whitewater Centre. So the leaderboard at the moment is changing again. Luke Kivan has taken the race lead for Lower Wharf Canoe Club, 121.80. That includes 6 seconds of penalties, ahead of Thomas Mayer of Stafford and Stone Canoe Club, and then Joshua Lucas, one of the early leaders, now down into third place. Remember, the job this morning is 96 paddlers looking for a spot in tomorrow's semi-finals, but there are only 40 places in that semi-final. 30 of those places will be decided on the first run. So welcome back to the Lee Valley Whitewater Centre here for the first runs, the heats of the British Open. K1 men's. The athletes racing in their reverse order and on course coming down into the middle section. It is Callum Walling of Shepperton Slalom Canoe Club. And he's chasing the lead time. We've got a new race leader, Angus Hulbert. So Angus Hulbert of Breadalbane Canoe Club is our race leader. 117.66. So the times are tumbling. Edward Dickinson of Stafford and Stone Canoe Club is in second, and Luke Cavan is in third place for Lower Wharf Canoe Club. So Callum Walling now coming down to the bottom drop into this double upstream sequence. Gate 21 and gate 22 nicely in and out of gate 21. Using the wave nicely, and now into 22. This course designed by Tommy Power, I believe, and then tomorrow's course is designed by Craig Morris. So they are the athletes, they're the coaches that have set the challenge on this, the 2017 British Open. So now just starting his run, it is Ryan Cross wearing bib number 21. And in the middle section of the course, it is Mick Berwick of Stafford and Stone Canoe Club. Big shout out, Mick Berwick. Mick Berwick's been on the circuit for a long, long time. Very experienced paddler and very, very strong indeed. Used to paddle amongst Richard Fox, Paul McConkey, a number of other of the top paddlers, and still can do it all these years later. So Mick Berwick finishing his run down the bottom of the course. Ryan Cross now in the middle section of the course, coming through gate 11, ducks off the gate very nicely indeed. Looks like it's found a good rhythm down the main straight here on this Olympic channel. Now sets up for the upstream gate 15. Then got to navigate across the wave, choose whether to spin or do you risk it forwards. Looks like it's the spin for Ryan. And then again, setting off down the course. This is where the lactic acid really builds up in those arms. In and out of the upstream gate 18. And the fatigue really starting to set up as he comes down towards the final 3 gates on this 23 gate course. And a little bit low into the upstream gate 21. Well, you can do a bit of damage limitation if you can really use that acceleration, get the line right across to 22. But it looks like we'll have to wait and see. Mick Berwick goes in 15th place. He picks up a 50-second penalty somewhere down the course. And I do confirm that Callum Walling of Shepperton Slalom Canoe Club is our current race leader, 119.74, ahead of Edward Dickinson. But I guess a word of caution there is I just wait probably for some penalties to catch up. If there are any penalties, that's a provisional race lead for Callum Walling of Shepperton Canoe Club. So at the moment, Theo Lunny of Shepperton Canoe Club is on the middle part of the course. James Kettle for Lee Valley Paddle Sports Club is on the top part of the course through gate 9 into the upstream gate 10. Lee Valley Paddle Sports Club, the host club here at the Lee Valley Whitewater Centre, and they are fresh back from winning the National Interclub Championships last weekend. They took place just up the road, Cardington, near Bedford, and the dominant force, Stafford and Stone Canoe Club, who have dominated the competition for as long as I can remember, which is quite a long time, finally beaten by a Lee Valley Paddle Sports Canoe Club team. So that's good to see a bit of competition, and I'm sure there'll be some strong competition coming back next year for the 2018 Interclub event. Nicely through the bottom section into the final 3 gates for James Kettle of Lee Valley Paddle Sports Club. Now in and out of the upstream gate 21 into 22, and Theo Lunny has put in a good time, 116.685 total. And assuming there's no more penalties, then that is good enough for the current race lead. And now it's fair to say we are on to the official Premier athletes. So these are the athletes racing in the Premier division. They've already qualified through into this competition and racing as part of the British National Championship Series. A series of 10 or 11 events over the course of the 2017 season. This is the penultimate race counting for points. We've got the British Open this weekend, and then in around 3 or 4 weeks' time, the event finishes in Teesside, middle of October, with the final race of the Premier season. Theo Lunny still leading the race ahead of Callum Walling and Edward Dickinson. That's the top three at the moment. 116.85 is the lead time. And now coming through gate 14 is the athlete Erin Yalkin, another Lee Valley Paddle Sports Club athlete, now in and out 15. A little bit sticky on the spin on 16, but importantly now bows down and heading towards the upstream gate 18. So remember, this competition, we've got 96 athletes will go in this first run of the K1 men's heats. And 30, the top 30 of those athletes will go through to tomorrow's semi-final. And those that don't go through get a second run. And on that second run, the athletes will be fighting it out for the remaining 10 places. So 40 boats will go through to the semi-final from a start list of 96. Erin Yalkin provisionally takes the race lead here at the British Open. His time, 1:15.12. 2-second penalty just added on to that time, though, on the last gate and into second place. So Theo Lunny leads ahead of Erin Yalkin and Callum Walling. That's the top three in the early stages of this, the first runs, the heats of the British Open Slalom Championships in the K1 men. And I'll be back in just a couple of minutes. So as we continue to work through the heats of the men's kayak here at the British Open, Super September, we've got rafting, we've got motocross, we've got slalom. Tomorrow we've got a Division 2 slalom on the Legacy Channel and lots of opportunities to have a go at paddling here at the Lee Valley Whitewater Centre. So if you're on site, then great, make the most of getting around the trade stands, get the most of have a go paddling and just enjoy your day here at the Lee Valley Whitewater Centre. And if you're watching this on YouTube, then well, you just need to get in your car or public transport if you want to be sustainable and get yourself to Lee Valley for a good day out. Free entry both days, and we've got action here, a full day's program both today and tomorrow here at the British Open 2017 British Canoeing, and it's part of the British Canoeing Super September. Keep on track with all the action at British Canoeing, and of course the hashtag Super September. So on course now towards the middle section, wearing bib number 92, it's Andrew Douglas of Aberdeen Kayak Club. Big journey down to race in this event all the way from Aberdeen. Now coming down through gate 14 into the upstream gate 15. Aberdeen Kayak Club have produced a lot of top paddlers over the years. Tim Bailey, Olympic champion in 2012 on this course, learned his trade, you could say, on the Alva course at Aberdeen Kayak Club. So coming out of the exit of 18, Andrew Douglas now on track. Theo Lunny, still our race leader, 1:16.85, the time that everybody's chasing. So as we get into the slightly better ranked paddlers, then the first notable paddler that will be starting off in this event is Etienne Stott. He started off in a kayak. He had an accomplished career as a junior and under 23 in the British team before switching into C2, and he partnered up with Tim Bailey, and the rest is history. European bronze medalist in 2009, and of course Olympic champions in 2012. Well, Tim and Etienne retired shortly after the London Olympic Games, but Etienne carried on a new partnership with Mark Proctor, and a very successful partnership in the 2 seasons they were together, making finals at World and European Championships. Etienne Stott is on course in the kayak. Etienne's put a lot of effort into this. He says this is his farewell season on the water. He intends to be around for a long time, but this is his farewell season as an athlete, and already a little bit low on the upstream gate 4. Doesn't quite get the line on the hole and drops low. So Etienne Stott now coming through gate 5, through gate 6 under the bridge, and clean on the top section of the course. Remember, he's chasing that time of Theo Lunny, 1:16.85, and now into the technical part. Nicely done there from Etienne. Used the wave very nicely in and out of the upstream gate 10, and now coming down this stagger sequence. So Etienne would have done many hours of training on this course. Probably more on this course in a C1 or a C2, but choosing to paddle in kayak in this season. And very nice, very smooth. You can see using his experience, very smooth racing, tidy spin, and now coming down towards the upstream gate 18. So Theo Lunny still leading the race for Shepperton Canoe Club. And now let's watch Etienne Stott coming over the bottom drop into the double upstream gate 21 and gate 22. This course configuration designed by Tommy Power. And he set the challenge today. Very smooth from Etienne. And that distinctive hunched style of Etienne, but don't be deceived. It can be very fast. And I think Etienne's going to join me in the commentary box a little bit later on. So hopefully if he gets through in the top 30, then he'll only have to do one run. So Etienne Stott takes the race lead, 1:13.57, and provisionally it's a clean run. So the time's starting to tumble as the reverse order of the national ranking starts to show its face. And as we watch on screen and at the top of the course, then another mistake. We saw Etienne Stott drop low in the upstream gate 4. That 3 to 4 move can be tricky. And there we see Sam Davis of Brecon Canoe Club getting a right trouncing on his way into gate 4. But great composure now, settled himself down and focused on delivering the rest of the run. So on course, it is Sam Davis now coming towards the gate 9-10 sequence. And at the bottom of the course, it's Jacob Taylor of Home Pierpont Canoe Club. And Jacob Taylor will be challenging that race time set by Etienne Stott, the race lead time, 1:13.57. Jacob Taylor has just picked up a 2-second penalty on the upstream gate 18. So a little bit of work to do, as has Sam Davis. It looks like a little bit of a line error there, drops off, and it looks like that may well be a 50-second penalty on gate 12. But he still has a new opportunity of coming back on the second runs and going for a place, one of those 40 places in tomorrow's semi-finals. So as Sam Davis finishes off his run in the bottom of the course, then on the top part of the course we have Ben Kelly of Strathallan Canoe Club, and the athletes will have spent the season training. This the culmination. It's starting to get towards the end of the season. This is where the national ranking, they're really scrabbling for points, trying to get those extra points to move up that national ranking. Who is going to get the number 1 bib in the 2017 season and be declared the national champion of 2017? Well, at the top of the course, it's Ross Dixon of Lee Valley Paddle Sports Club. Ben Kelly on the middle section, heading down towards the bottom. And confirmation there, Sam Davis does get a 50-second penalty on gate 12. And so it'll be down to second runs for him. But the leaderboard at the moment still Etienne Stott of Viking Kayak Club. He is leading 1:13.57. Theo Lunny in second place. And then in third place, it is Erin Yalkin. So in terms of what sort of time it will be to win this heat, then I'm thinking it's going to be around about the 100 seconds. But we'll have to wait and see. Maybe somewhere between 100 and 103 seconds. I'm sure we'll see some class paddling from some of those paddlers still to come. Joe Clark, the Olympic champion of 2016, the Rio Olympic Games, he will be on course actually in not too long a time, because his bib number is number 51. And that's really on the account that his focus last year was on preparing for the Olympic Games and not really available to do many of the domestic races, hence that low-level ranking. So we won't have to wait long to find out what sort of time the Olympic champion can do on this course. So just finishing now, Ross Dixon provisionally takes the race lead, 1:13.27. And Ross Dixon of Lee Valley Paddle Sports Club, a junior paddler, is our provisional race leader. Lots of changes here. Etienne Stott in second. Ben Kelly has gone in to third place for Strathallan Canoe Club. So if you want to follow the action, you can follow it live on your mobile device, your tablet. You can follow that on the Seaweed Data website. I suspect if you follow us on Twitter at British Canoeing, then there should be a link to click in order to get access to those live results. And you can also follow the action live on the live feed through YouTube. Again, I would hope that there's a link on Twitter to that. If not, then you go to the British Canoeing YouTube channel and you'll be able to pick it up there. So Ross Dixon, still our race leader, 113.27 in the early stages, because we still have a lot of paddlers still to go on this first run. We still have around 82 paddlers to go. No, that's not correct. That's about 50 paddlers still to go in the first runs. But only, of course, 30 places up for grabs on this first run in terms of qualifying through to the semi-finals in here, the British Open 2017, part of the British Canoeing Super September Series. I'll be back in just a couple of minutes. So as we continue on through the first runs of the men's kayak heats here at the British Open 2017, we've got a change in the leaderboard. Matthew Curry has taken the race lead, 112.69. So that race lead slowly being chipped away as we get down towards the higher ranked paddlers in this category. So Matthew Curry of the Van Sports Club, our current race leader. Of course, at the moment is Finn Riley McQueen of Home Pierpont Canoe Club up in Nottingham, and then at the top part of the course it is Prince again of Home Pierpont Canoe Club coming into the downstream gate 9, working across the wave into the upstream gate 10, and it'll be interesting to see whether he can challenge that current race lead time. Matthew Curry still our race leader, a clean run of 112.69. And Finn Riley McQueen goes into 10th place, 119.32, a clean run for him. But it's still Matthew Curry leading the way ahead of Ross Dixon and then Etienne Stott. That's the top three at the moment. And so now at the bottom part of the course, it is Zach Prince of Home Pierpont Canoe Club coming into the upstream 18, just a little bit too tight on the upstream gate. No penalties, but seconds, the time ticks away, and you can't afford to lose those valuable seconds when there are only 30 spots up for grabs in this first run. 96 competitors racing, and there are no margins for error. Canoe slalom is a great sport, a test of the physical, mental and technical skills, and these athletes really showing those skills. They make it look easy, but it takes a long time to hone the art of really being in control on the white water. So at the top of the course, it is Robert Fernie of Home Pierpont Canoe Club. Hugh Butterworth of Llandyssil Paddlers is towards the bottom of the course, and now Robert Fernie coming through gate 4. Nicely done in 4. Gets the tight line. We've seen a few people not quite getting the line right and using the wave through gate 3 to 4, dropping low and losing valuable time. No problems there for Robert Fernie. Taking the move forwards on gate 9, just having to fight a little bit to get back on the wave in stream gate 10, but a good top section for Robert Fernie so far as he comes through gate 11 and 12. So now coming out of the upstream gate 15, spinning nicely, staying in the flow on gate 16, but just struggling a little bit through 17 to get the bows pointing downstream, get the foot on the gas, and paying a little bit of a price in 18, just a little bit low on that upstream gate 18. Now approaching the final 2 upstream gates on this 23 gate course, and of course this is where the lactic acid, the fatigue is really setting in, but Robert Fernie looking smooth through gate 21. And again on 22, 1 gate stands between him and the finish line. And can he beat the time? Well, we have a new race leader. Hugh Butterworth of Llandyssil Canoe Club has taken the race lead at the moment. 1:11.62 is Robert Fernie. Just waiting for time to come in there for Robert Fernie of Home Pierpont Canoe Club. So at the top of the course, it is bib number 73, Sean Wayne of Green Star Canoe Club and Hydra Sports. And of course, Hydra Sports are on the middle section by the Olympic Channel in the trade area. So get yourself down there, have a look at the kit they've got on site, and just waiting for the results to catch up a little bit, and I'll bring you that. But it's still Hugh Butterworth is our provisional race leader, 1:11.62 his time. And on the gate 9 there, Sean Wayne just maybe picking up a penalty. If you're unfamiliar with the sport of canoe slalom, it is a test of physical, technical and mental skills, but it's all about getting yourself down the whitewater course in the fastest possible time. You have to negotiate the green and white and the red and white gates in number order. The green and white gates in a downstream direction, the red and white gates in an upstream direction. If you touch a pole with any part of your body, your boat or your paddle, it's a 2-second penalty added onto your time. And if you incorrectly negotiate a gate, that's 50 seconds added onto your time. So it is really, these athletes are the top athletes in Great Britain, racing it out for the title of British Open champion at both junior, under 23 and senior level 2017. And of course we have our Great Britain senior team here using this race as a final tuning opportunity before flying out to the World Championships that take place in a fortnight's time in Pau in southern France. And that really will be the main event of the 2017 international season. So there's been 5 World Cups through the season, European Championships, and of course at junior and under 23 level we've had a junior European Championships at Hohenlimburg in Germany, junior World Championships in Bratislava in Slovakia. So it's been a busy season, but the main event is still to come in a fortnight's time. the World Championships, and you'll be able to follow that live on the International Canoe Federation website. You can follow the live feed, and from memory, it's a 5-day program. So it starts Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then into the weekend, into the Saturday. Not only has it got the slalom, but it's got the extreme slalom and the downriver racing World Championships. So lots of action, lots of British interest in that event. As we watch bib number 67 on course. Another local paddler, John Mayles, coming through gate 14. John Mayles is used to paddle for Australia in his heyday in canoe slalom. Then he moved to Great Britain and has supported the Great Britain team in a number of capacities as sports psychologist. And then more recently, the slalom bug has bitten again, and really a good example of a catalyst of this great facility, the legacy of London 2012. John Mayles living just down the road, and the draw was too much. John Mayles very much hooked back in and looking to use that experience in the sport. So John Mayles down on the bottom section of the course, and we'll just have a look at the leaderboard as it stands. And it is still Hugh Butterworth leading the race, ahead of Matthew Curry and Etienne Stott. That's the top three at the moment. Hugh Butterworth of Llandyssil Paddlers. And we'll wait and see the results for, so John Mayles looks like a clear run. 119.33 into 11th place. And then on course, it's Caspian Ricks who will be the next to finish. And then Ethan Barrett now coming through gate 9 into the upstream gate 10. Ethan Barrett for Home Pierpont Canoe Club, Caspian Ricks for Bradford and Bingley Canoe Club. And now through 11 and 12. It is Ethan Barrett coming down this middle section of the course. This is where a lot of time trades hands, this offset downstream sequence. It is easy to just lose a little bit of time by over-rotating or taking a least direct line. It's so important to keep the bows down, keep the power on the paddle, and keep powering towards the finish. And a mistake there from Ethan Barrett. He needs a bit of a cheer to get him up the eddy. Just washed downstream on the run into the upstream 18. That will cost him on the clock, but no penalties added on. So Caspian Ricks has just gone into 23rd place. A 2-second penalty on the last gate, the only penalty showing on the board. That's Ethan Barrett now. 2 gates stand between him and a place in the semi-final. It is still Hugh Butterworth leading the race. And very shortly we will have the Olympic champion of Rio 2016, Joe Clark, wearing bib number 51. And we'll make sure that we follow him down, and we'll see what sort of time he can set and whether he could just cruise straight into tomorrow's semi-finals. Well, on the top part of the course, it is bib number 59, Michael Brown of CR Cats. Michael, an accomplished canoe paddler, C1, C2, and kayak. So you name it, he can do it. That's quite a skill set. And he's been in the British team in C1 and in C2. I don't think he's ever been in kayak, but maybe. Well, there's still time for that. So Michael coming down the middle section now. Ducking under 11, nice straight line through 12, lifting the bows across the water. It's so important to keep the boat speed, keep the bows dry, but also keep the boat flat on the water. That's how you get the fast times in the sport of canoe slalom. Ducks through 16, bit sticky, now has to fight a little bit through 17. But Michael showing his experience now as he runs into the upstream gate 18. So it is still Hugh Butterworth leading, so that time 1:11.62, and it's not long before we will see the Olympic champion Joe Clark in action. Joe, of course, for Stafford and Stone Canoe Club, and he will be going out to the World Championships in Pau in France in a fortnight's time, and looking to have a successful campaign and get on the podium in the World Championships. He was 6th in 2013. That's his best result at the World Championships so far. What can he do in 2017? Well, Michael Brown is our provisional race leader, 109.77. And that includes a 2-second penalty on the upstream gate 10. So Michael Brown has lowered the time, but that's a 107, our fastest run down the course so far today. So on course now at the top, it is John Dickinson. We're in bib number 54. So Archie Symes now on the middle, heading down towards the bottom of the course for Home Pierpont Canoe Club. And John Dickinson now just on that top section of the course. Now John Dickinson is, well, both his sons are paddling in this event as well. So it's a big father-son competition. For a while, John had it all his own way. Very much now, it's all about whether he can actually have a good run and get ahead of the Edward and Mike, who are also racing this weekend for Stafford and Stone Canoe Club. So coming through gate 11, down through gate 12, great technician, and now just, you can see John's feel for the white water is really helps to get him down this white water course. This course really relentless, very technical, requires full concentration. And a bit of a mistake there from 16 to 17. Now pivoting round, this is where it's important to have something left in the arms to keep it tight into the upstream gate 18. So John Dickinson for Stafford and Stone Canoe Club now heading down towards the finish. Michael Brown is still our race leader for CR Cats. Archie Symes is in second place. Archie Symes for Home Pierpont Canoe Club. Hugh Butterworth in third for Landisol Paddlers. And next to start at the top of the course will be Joe Clark, the Olympic champion of Rio 2016. And I'm going to apologise now because I appear to have an out-of-date start list. So Joe Clark of Stafford and Stone Canoe Club, the Olympic champion, is racing today, but he's not racing yet. So apologies for that. He is bib number 51, but he will be racing with the international competitors. So I will keep an eye out on the start list to make sure we get that. But anyway, let's turn our attention. Who is on course? It is bib number 48. And bib number 48 is Connor Lenihan of Lee Valley Paddle Sports Club. So he is on the bottom section of the course. On the top part of the course, it's Mark Wignall, who has, again, been around in the sport, very experienced, and another paddler who has been drawn back into the sport by some of the great new facilities that have come about. And so Connor Lenihan goes into 17th place at the moment. And whilst we're doing an update of information, Michael Brown is still leading the race. And his time, 109.77, standing the test of time so far. Then it's Archie Symes ahead of Hugh Butterworth. That's the top three at the moment. And at the moment, coming down through gate 7 and gate 8, it is Ben Haylett of Home Pierpont Canoe Club. Forward through gate 9, that's nicely done. Manages to pick up the wave. A little bit low in gate 10, but certainly showing his skills here on the powerful water. So this course is across its 220 meters length, it drops 5.5 meters in altitude, and it runs at about 12 cubic meters per second of water. That's about 12 tons of water per second coming down this course. And that presents the physical challenge that these athletes have to encounter. And of course, the art of going fast in the sport of canoe slalom is to work in harmony. Use the white water to your advantage, as well as clearly to really develop that powerful upper body, upper arm strength that is required. So into the upstream gate 21 for Ben Haylett of Home Pierpont Canoe Club. In and out there. And so far, no penalties showing on the board so far. You can follow the information live on the Seaweed Data link. And if you go through Twitter, follow at British Canoeing on Twitter, then there should be a link to click through and you can get the results live onto your mobile device. You can even sign on to the Lee Valley Wi-Fi here so you don't use up your valuable data. So in the middle of the course now, it is James Dixon of Home Pierpont Canoe Club, and at the top of the course, wearing bib number 38, coming into gate 4, is Jake Brown of Tees Tigers, another junior paddler. And as I speak, actually, I should say there's a change at the top of the leaderboard. Ben Haylett is our new race leader. So Ben Haylett for Home Pierpont Canoe Club goes ahead of Michael Brown of CR Cats. And then Archie Symes of Home Pierpont Canoe Club currently is in third place. Those are the top three at the moment. And remember, the job on this, the first run, it's all about qualifying into the top 30 to get through into the semi-final. But of course, your position in this first run will determine the start order for tomorrow. So if you qualify high up, then you get the advantage of going off late in that semi-final. Maybe you get a little bit more information on the course, because it will be a new course tomorrow. I believe the course designer is Craig Morris. So Tommy Power has designed today's 23-gate challenge, and then tomorrow will be Craig Morris setting the challenge. So a little bit of a problem there on the course for Jake Brown. Gate 18, it doesn't pick up any penalties from that, but it's those fractions of a second slipping away. Ben Haylett still our race leader. Will Jake Brown be able to challenge that time? Well, William Taylor for Home Pierpont Canoe Club is now at the top part of the course coming down. And then next to start will be Johnny Akinyemi. So James Dixon goes into 9th place for Home Pierpont Canoe Club. Jake Brown goes into 11th place for Tees Tigers. Ben Haylett still holding on to that race lead at the top of the course. And next is Isaac Barker of Stafford and Stone Canoe Club. Just coming under the middle bridge, wearing bib number 35. So coming through gate 7 to gate 8, just trying to line up this move to take on gate 9. And opting for the spin, shrugs off nicely, uses the wave and very tight into the upstream 10. Now it's important to accelerate away, keep the boat dry and take very direct lines through 11, 12, 13 and 14. Before dropping into the upstream left in 15 on the oval. So a little bit of time just being lost there. Not quite the most direct line through 15 for Isaac Barker. But remember, it's not just about taking the win here. It's about qualifying through to tomorrow's semi-final here at the British Canoeing Super September 2017 British Open. So no change to the leaderboard at the moment. Isaac Barker On course coming through gate 20. Very composed into the upstream gate 21. The penultimate red and white upstream gate on this 23 gate course. A little bit high on the exit there. Just a little bit of time being lost, and that's what you can see, the fatigue really setting in on those arms. And now a sprint to the finish, and Isaac Barker will know whether he's done enough. So into 5th place on raw time, 1:11.80 is Isaac Barker's time. So Ben Haylett still leading the way with a 1:09.58 total. On course, in the middle section, it is Thomas Newman of Tyne Valley Canoe Club. And then at the top part of the course, it is David Patterson of Manchester Canoe Club, wearing bib number 32. And now coming through gate 6 and 7 towards the downstream gate 8 and into the first real technically demanding move here. Forwards on 9, but now working hard to get back on the wave and get tight into gate 10. So David Patterson of Manchester Canoe Club now taking a very direct route through 11 and 12. This is so important to stay ahead of the game on these offset stagger sequences. Work with the water and keep that flow, keep that rhythm, because then you can conserve your energy to use later on in the course or the more physical elements. In and out of the upstream gate 15. A little bit reactive there on 16. That's forced a little bit of a low spin and a bit of time to change hands. But David Patterson of Manchester Canoe Club on the charge into the upstream 18. So, welcome back to the action here at the Valley. It is day 1 of 2 days of racing here at the British Canoeing 2017 British Open Slot Championships. Here at the Lee Valley Whitewater Centre, and if you're here, a very warm welcome here at the Lee Valley Whitewater Centre. If you're not here and you're watching it live on the YouTube channel, well, enjoy watching it, but if you can get down over the course of the weekend, then it's very much worthwhile doing. It's free entry, and there's lots of activities on site. Today, we have got, obviously, the slalom qualifications that we are watching now on the Olympic channel. And also on the Legacy channel, we've got rafting, the raft racing going on, and a real emerging discipline in Great Britain, and that rafting team preparing for the I think it's the World Championships in Japan in just over a week's time. So all the best to them. There's the opportunity to have a go at rafting. There's a freestyle competition going on. We've got a motocross, or some people call it the extreme slalom. That gets underway at 3:30, and that has a final on the Olympic course later on today. Then we've got the Div 2. There's a Division 2 slalom taking place on the Legacy Channel. A bit of training tonight, but the main event for the Div 2 happens on the Legacy course tomorrow. We've got the semi-finals and the finals of the British Open slalom tomorrow, and lots of other things going on here at the Lee Valley Whitewater Centre today. And if you've arrived and you're wondering what's going on, well, the first thing is it's dry, the wind conditions perfect for racing, but also it's perfect if you want to have a go at this great sport of canoeing. If you want to have a go, there's the opportunity to have a go. It's free, and you can go down to the lake, look for the British Canoeing tent on the side of the lake, and our qualified staff will guide you through. And you don't have to go on the whitewater straight away. It's the opportunity to try a craft that you fancy. You shouldn't get wet if you choose the right craft, and our qualified staff will make sure you have fun. So that's on throughout. That starts at 10 o'clock, so that's just started, and you can do it throughout today and tomorrow. So tell your friends about it as well. Get them down and explore the great fun you can have in a paddle sport, in a canoe, a kayak, whatever it is. Sit on top, and there's lots of opportunities for all ages and for everybody. Also, there's a few trade stands in the middle of the course next to the Olympic Channel. Please get yourself down towards that. There's a Red Bull, there's bull rafts, there's Hydra Sports, tent box, above and below, Cotswold outdoor, and of course there's the British Canoeing stand where you can get your Super September t-shirts. And you can also get your Super September selfie at the British Canoeing stand, and then you can post that on Twitter and link it at British Canoeing, hashtag Super September. So don't forget to keep interacting with the Super September hashtag and British Canoeing, and you can follow all the results live on the Seaweed Data live feed. Again, that'll be linked through the British Canoeing Facebook and through the Twitter at British Canoeing. So we've got athlete signings at 1:30 today in the British Canoeing tent next to the Olympic Channel. 1:30 today. You have the opportunity to meet Mallory Franklin, who has just come back from the Under-23 World Championships with a gold medal. We've got Joe Clark, who has a gold medal from the Rio 2016 Olympic Games. David Florence, who is a 3-time gold medalist in the sport of canoe slalom at World Championship level. He's also a 3-time Olympic silver medalist. So he is the reigning world champion in C1. Goes out to defend his title in Po in, 10 days' time. And Kimberly Woods, last but not least, again, a European champion in the C1 women's event. So the best of Great Britain. They're giving you the opportunity to get up close and personal, get a selfie with them, get a signature. Within reason, you can, I'm sure, ask them to do what you want. So that's at 1:30 at the British Canoeing tent, just next to the Olympic Channel. So I need to probably bring you up to speed with a change in the leaderboard. Duncan Edwards is our new race leader. And he is from Breadalbane Canoe Club, and his time, 1:04.25, is 5 seconds quicker than our second place, Ben Haylett of Home Pierpont Canoe Club, and Michael Brown of CR Cats. That's the top 3 at the moment. And what I should say is we are now inside the top 30, so less than 30 to go. So at the moment, and I'm going to say this provisionally, Duncan Edwards, Ben Haylett, Michael Brown, Archie Symes, Hugh Butterworth, Etienne Chappell, Isaac Barker, Matthew Curry. Well, you are all provisionally into tomorrow's semi-finals, so well done. And now we will go through the competition, and it'll all be about seeing who is to qualify next. But of course, also position is important. It'll be a new course tomorrow. The men's kayak category, I suspect, will be first off. So going off late in the order, getting a bit of late information is always a useful opportunity. But in order to do that, you've got to be quick in the heats today and qualify through into one of those top spots. So as Rob Neve comes towards the finish, wearing bib number 20 for Stafford and Stone Canoe Club, he drops into 9th place. Rob Neve, you are provisionally in the semi-final. Well done. Duncan Edwards still leading the race. Alistair McCrary. Oh, I spoke a bit soon. Rob, you've picked up a 2-second penalty on the upstream gate 22. And because of that, dropped into 14th place. And Rob, you'll have to wait and see whether you have done enough to make it through into tomorrow's semi-finals. So at the moment, sitting on the bubble, waiting to see whether they are in, is Etienne Stott, the 2012 Olympic champion. So Etienne is currently sitting in 10th place and outside of the semi-final, but I suspect it will go his way and we will see Etienne racing in tomorrow's British Open 2017 semi-final. So on course now, it is Sam Moss of Home Pierpont Canoe Club. He's coming down the middle section of the course. And then next to start at the top will be Austin Barker. But let's focus on Sam Moss of Home Pierpont Canoe Club coming through gate 17. So at the moment, the time to beat to make it through into the semi-final. Alistair McCreary is in. So the time to beat Etienne Stott, 113.57. So a time inside that for Sam Moss will get him a place provisionally in the semi-final tomorrow. In and out of 21, that's a good move. Still looks very composed and tidy through 22. So now one gate stands between Sam and the finish line. Just a little bit of a stutter through gate 23, but Sam Moss now paddling for a place in the semi-final. Etienne Stott, 113.57 seconds, and is waiting on the bubble to see if he has done enough. And just waiting for the scoreboard to catch up. To wait and see. It seems to have frozen just momentarily, so let's turn our attention to the top part of the course, where we have our next competitor, which is Ben Teasdale of Tees Tigers, wearing bib number 16, coming through gate 7. And interestingly, Ben Teasdale has had a great season so far, lying second in the Premier Division standings at the moment. So really looking again to secure some valuable points. But not only is it about securing points for yourself at this stage in the season, but it's also about stopping other people getting them. So it's about consistency as well. And so Ben Teasdale currently challenging, and importantly, he will want to be getting through comfortably into the semi-final. But Sam Moss, the scoreboard's caught up, 108.69, and is into 4th place. But what that does mean is, I'm not. I think the scoreboard's just catching up with a few things, but certainly because it looks like at the moment Ethan Barrett might well have qualified, but let's just wait. In fact, the scoreboard's not quite in order. Whatever that means at the moment, Etienne Stott, I think, has qualified. Ethan Barrett hasn't, but is sitting above with a slower time. That's not my department. I'll concentrate on the racing. So Ben Teasdale crossing the finish line. He has picked up a 2-second penalty on the downstream gate 5, but it looks like a competitive time from Ben Teasdale. And still Duncan Edwards leading the race. And Duncan Edwards leading the race for Breadalbane Canoe Club in Scotland. And next to start on the course is Stuart Gerry from Aberdeen Kayak Club. So Oliver Gilbert is on the middle section of the course for Viking Kayak Club. Stuart is on the top. That critical gate 3 to 4 move, no problem for Stuart Gerry. as he comes out of the upstream gate 4. Top 3, Duncan Edwards still leading ahead of Ben Haylett and Michael Brown. They're holding firm. They're through to the semi-final. And just waiting to see how other athletes stack up in this reckoning. So Stuart Gary through gate 9. A little bit sticky, but he's certainly tight into the upstream gate 10. Needs to be somewhere under 1:14. 114 seconds inside that at the moment will be good enough for a place in tomorrow's semi-final. Earn yourself the afternoon off, a little bit of a rest, and I guess if you get the afternoon off, there's other things you can do here at the British Open. You could maybe enter the motocross competition and do some head-to-head racing later on today on the Olympic Channel. The slalom cross discipline, which is also known as motocross extreme slalom, is making its debut at the World Championships in a fortnight's time. And that format of racing, well, the qualification heats will get underway on the Legacy Channel here this afternoon at 3:30, and then the finals, the head-to-head finals, will be 8 o'clock here at the Lee Valley Whitewater Centre. So Stuart Gary from Aberdeen Kayak Club coming through the finish, and it looks like a good time for Stuart. I haven't got a direct result yet, but certainly looks like a quality run that was comfortably into the semi-final. Next up, wearing bib number 10, is James Cooper of Serendure Canoe Club, Team Square Rock. And James is the leader of the Premier National Ranking Series so far this season. So he's had a great season up to now. And as I was saying before, it's important that he continues to score some points, take them away from other people if he wants to hold on to that lead and take the national championship title for the 2017 season. Well, Stuart Gary into second place, 103.79, and by my reckoning, that should be first place. Duncan Edwards currently sitting in first place, 104.25. Not quite sure what's going on with the scoring, but one thing's for sure, that's a good run. It's a clean run for Stuart Gary, and I believe he is our current race leader. So James Cooper for Serendure Canoe Club coming through gate 16 to 17. Maybe had some problems on the upstream gate 15. I'll wait and see if there's any penalties to be added on to his time, but he's certainly repping it up now, coming through 18. Just settles the boat through 19 and 20, and now attacks into finding that line into the final upstream gate. And he's high. He's almost too high into the upstream 21. Has to take the speed off, has to turn the boat downstream again. It is just fractions of a second that will be lost there, but it's that kind of thing that makes the difference between a place in a semi-final, say, and a place in a final. Probably get away with it today, and that 2-second penalty on gate 15 is confirmed. James Cooper goes into 11th place, and provisionally it is still Stuart Gary of Aberdeen Kayak Club leading the race at this stage in the competition. But as I speak, actually, Jono Atkinson has taken the race lead, 103.75. So Jono Atkinson has gone into the race lead, into the semi-final for Proteus Canoe Club and Hydra Sports. He's third in the Premier standings at this stage in the season. So again, another athlete who's had a good season so far. I know he trains hard, based at, he certainly does a lot of his time at Home Pierpont on Nottingham. So the top three, Jonathan Atkinson for Proteus Canoe Club, Stuart Gary of Aberdeen Kayak Club, and Duncan Edwards of Bridalburn Canoe Club. That's our top three. They're all into the semi-final. At the moment, the button is lying with James Dixon. So James Dixon currently on the bubble, waiting to see if he's done enough of Home Pierpont Canoe Club to get into tomorrow's semi-final. So on the course at the top, well, I should say towards the bottom actually, is Remy Bordeaux of Nottingham Surf Club coming down on the bottom section. And then on the top section, it's Zach Franklin of Windsor and District Canoe Club. So Zach Franklin, one to watch, had a one World Cup opportunity at Ivrea in Italy earlier on this season. And he took the opportunity. He made it through into the final, and I think he was 5th or 6th. Well, he was certainly 5th or 6th. I can't remember the exact result, but it was certainly a good performance for Zach. So we're now getting into our international competitors before we get into the final 3 competitors, which will be the Great Britain senior team to represent Great Britain at the World Championships in 2017 in Pau in France in just around 10 days' time. So will they be able to beat our current race lead time, 1:03.75, set by Jonathan Atkinson of Proteus Canoe Club? Well, not long to wait, but at the moment on course, we have all the way from Switzerland, our bib competitor. I'm just trying to find the information of who it is. It is Loic Bianzina of Switzerland, an under-23 paddler, has come over to enter into this British Open Championship. And looks like a little bit of a problem on the bottom part of the course. Maybe a last-minute penalty as he comes to the finish and provisionally into 32nd place. So at the top of the course, wearing bib number 112, or I should say in the middle of the course, wearing bib number 112, Asheen Farrell of Ireland, another under-23 paddler. But it looks like a 50-second penalty picked up on the downstream gate 5. And it might be down to second runs. So next up on the top part of the course, wearing bib number 3, it is Zach Allen of Tees Tigers. So Zach Allen, always a very exciting paddler and very dynamic and very strong, very tall in his boat. Here we see him through gate 12 and 13. Now coming through gate 14 into the upstream 15 on the oval, and just negotiating this tricky 16-17 sequence. Nicely done there by Zach Allen as he now launches himself down into the final 5 gates on the course. In and out of 18, just shrugs off 18 on one stroke. Just setting up now as he comes into the penultimate upstream. It is still Jonathan Atkinson of Proteus Canoe Club leading the race with that time of 1:03.75. But surely that's under threat here from Zach Allen of Tees Tigers. Down through gate 23, now sprinting to the finish. Is this going to be the first sub 100 time? It is indeed. Just waiting for confirmation. 97.10. Boom! We have a new race leader. Zach Allen of Tees Tigers breaks the 100-second barrier and goes into the race lead. So next up will be another of our, well, both international on-course and domestic paddlers. It is Johnny Akinyemi of Nigeria, lives in Warrington too, will be a familiar face to everybody here. 2-time Olympian in 2012 and 2016. He is on course at the moment, but at the top part of the course, it is Zach Franklin. I introduced him a bit early. Now he is on course and wearing bib number 6, coming through gate number 6 and heading down into the first of the big drops here on Lee Valley. As I said, he was a finalist at the World Cup in Ivrea in Italy just 2 or 3 weeks ago. He finished 5th or 6th in that final. And when he gets it right, he is very quick indeed. But Zach also known for his real risk-taking. And in the sport of canoe slalom, you get on the wrong side of the risk-taking, then you can be quite harshly penalised. In and out of the upstream 15. Now, Zach Allen, 97.10. That's the time being chased for these final competitors on the course. A little bit low for Zach on the upstream 18. Certainly not quite as tidy there as our current race leader, Zach Allen. But Zach Franklin has a very deceptive style. He looks very composed, but it's deceptively quick. A little bit like Richard Hounslow in a kayak. Definitely had a reputation for almost looking like he wasn't trying, but it was just the precision, good stroke placement, and deceptively quick. Zach Franklin now paddling to the finish, and he's going to be outside of our current race lead time, Zach Allen of Tees Tigers. Just wait and see how he slots into the order. Yeah, just waiting for that bit of information to update, and well, we'll come back to that. So as we watch Kieran Lee Edwards with bib number 4 on the course. So Kieran Lee Edwards had a great selection series. Always a quick paddler for Llandyssil Canoe Club, based here at the Lee Valley Whitewater Centre, now coming down through Gate 7 and Gate 8. He's certainly taking on that move forwards as we'd expect. Takes a little bit to drop onto the wave, but ducks in and out of 10. Takes the direct line through 11. And can he take the challenge to our race leader, Zach Allen of Tees Tigers, 97.10. And still the British senior team are the final competitors to start in this, the first run of heats. The top 30 of the competitors will qualify straight through into the semi-final. They get the afternoon off, and they'll come back firing on all cylinders to get into that 10-boat final tomorrow, and fighting to take the title of British Canoeing, British Open Champion 2017. So Kieran Lee Edwards in the final 2 gates of the course. Great run across from 21 to 22. He's still got the energy in the arms. He is giving it his all as he sprints to the finish. It's going to be outside of the current race leader's time, Zach Allen, but it's going to be a quick time for Kieran Lee Edwards. And just waiting for confirmation of that time. So whilst we do that, then let's, at the moment on course, it is another of our international paddlers. It's Manuel Munch from Switzerland, but we'll go to the top of the course and see Chris Bowers. Chris Bowers, wearing bib number 5, is the first of our British team senior paddlers in this race. So they're fine-tuning before going to the World Championships in a fortnight's time. Chris was, he made the final at the European Championships in earlier on this season in 2017. That was his first international race as a senior team member. So he's had a great debut season, and I guess has every opportunity at the World Championships to show. And I should also say a great result at the Under-23 World Championships, where he finished in 4th place, again, in his first season as an Under-23. So Chris Bowers is chasing that time set by Zach Allen, 97.10. He's looking very smooth. He is clean as far as I can see. I only have information up to gate 8, but he's certainly clean on the top 8 gates. Also on course we have Bradley Forbes Cryans, the Flying Scotsman. He is on the middle section of the course. If you're watching on the live feed, you won't see him, but as Chris Bowers finishes off his run, and we have Bradley Forbes Cryans, the national champion from 2016, is on course, and again he was 5th at the Under-23 World Championships. He's been a World Cup finalist. He had a great series in the World Cup. But at the top of the course, next to start, will be Joe Clark, the Olympic champion. And Joe Clark, the Olympic champion from 2016, will be next to start. Can he add the world title to his Olympic title? Well, this is his final race before going to those World Championships. So wearing bib number 51, Joe Clark now coming into the upstream gate 4, in and out on the one stroke, and I'll give an update on any times as they come in. As Joe Clark comes down through gate 7, through gate 8 now. This is a move where there's a lot of time trades hands. Brilliantly done for Joe. Straight into the trough of the wave, drives through and in and out of the upstream gate 10. Joe Clark is on the charge here at Lee Valley. Let's make some noise. It is still, well, Bradley Forbes-Cryans is our new race leader, 94.35, a clean run from the Flying Scotsman. And that's the time that Joe Clark has to beat. So Joe, a little bit sticky through 17, but that's because he took the direct line. It's quick. Now through 18. So 5 gates to go for the Olympic champion of 2016, Joe Clark, looking to really show his dominance as he goes into these final preparations for the World Championships. In and out of 22. 1 gate stands between him and a place in the British Open semi-final. He's giving it his all. 94.35 is the time that he is chasing. Well, we'll have to wait and see. I think that's inside. We'll just have that nervous pause whilst we wait for confirmation. Boom! And Joe Clark is our race winner on the first run. Provisional results, of course, 92.34. And the Olympic champion lays down his performance in style. So it would then appear that Bradley Forbes-Cryans is second with a 94.35. And then in third place, Zach Allen is in 97.10. There's a few little gremlins, I think, in the timing system, but those are the provisional results, and I guess that concludes the first runs of the men's kayak heats, and provisionally the top 30 will qualify through directly into tomorrow's semi-final, and they race off in reverse order of their results today. So just as we wait for the results to be officially confirmed, then Joe Clark, 92.34 his time, and definitely the fastest time of the day so far. And we're straight into the next category. We've got 5 categories racing here today at the British Canoeing 2017 British Open. And next up, it is the C1 Women, the Canoe Single Women. So we've watched the kayaks. The kayaks sit in the kayak with a double-bladed paddle, and now it's the canoes where you kneel in the boat with a single-bladed paddle. So this event will be making its debut in the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games, and we'll see some of our top paddlers in action later on in this heat, because the athletes are racing in the reverse order of their national ranking. So just looking at a little bit of an overview of this, then we have 31 paddlers racing in this heats for the British Open 2017, and we have 30 places in the semi-final. So someone is going to be disappointed. Harsh, but that's the reality. 31 athletes racing, and there are 30 places in the semi-final. But on this first run, only 20 places up for grabs. So it is important, if people want to get a good or a late start tomorrow and go off late on in the order, then a good result on this first run is critical. So who have we got on the start line? Well, we've got the European champion, Kimberly Woods. We've got the under-23 world champion, Mallory Franklin. Jasmine Royal, fresh back from a World Cup final in Ivrea in Italy. We've got Ailey Gibson, a multiple World Cup finalist, previous medalist. And of course, we've got Sophie Ogilvie, who is leading the Premier standings at this stage in the season. In fact, she's leading in C1 and in K1. So Sophie has had a great season so far. So I'm just going to take a momentary break as we get the start of the C1 Women's underway, and I'll be back very shortly here at the Super September British Canoeing 2017 British Open. So good morning and welcome back to the Lee Valley Whitewater Centre. It is the first of 2 days of racing here at the British Canoeing 2017 British Open. It's part of the Super September series. We started that series in Nottingham with the Sprint Regatta at the beginning of the month. Then again in Nottingham we had the Canoe Polo National Championships last weekend. We're now here at the Lee Valley Whitewater Centre, not only for the Canoe Slalom British Open, but for the rafting, freestyle, motocross. There's plenty of action going on. There's also a Division 2 Canoe Slalom event going on tomorrow. And then we have the Hasler Finals later on, that's next weekend, and the Super September series actually finishes in October with the freestyle event in Nottingham. So lots of activity. And you can follow all that activity on Twitter at British Canoeing and get involved. Hashtag Super September. And let's get out there. Let's see your experiences here of this great sport. So here at the Lee Valley Whitewater Centre, we're now very well underway with the first runs, the heats of the C1 Women's event. And we have 31 competitors on this run competing for just 20 places in tomorrow's semi-final. So the athletes are racing in reverse order of their national ranking. So in theory, it should get quicker as we go on. And then, of course, it is all about getting high up in this position, because then you go off last in tomorrow's semi-final and you get that little bit more information to digest as you plan your run for that single run semi-final tomorrow. That's the sport of canoe slalom, and just 10 places in tomorrow's final in all 5 of the events. So on the bottom of the course now, it is our bib number 27. It's Sophie Winfield from Home Pip on Canoe Club. We've got lots of juniors entering this event. This event, of course, will make its debut in the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. Those Olympic Games are around about 1,038 days away now. Not long, really. Under 3 years. And I guess myself, I've just come back from my first visit to Tokyo as part of that preparation, seeing the preparations for the canoe slalom venue in Tokyo, and making sure we book accommodation in the vicinity of the venue for the test event and for the pre-games training. But of course the team will actually be in the village in Tokyo, in the Olympic Village, because of the proximity of the new whitewater course to that Olympic Village. So on the bottom of the course, Sophie Winfield finishes her run. Maya Harrison of Lee Valley Paddle Sports Club is getting towards the bottom of the course, and at the top is Jessica Magson of Stafford and Stone Canoe Club coming down under the bridge now towards Gate 7. The current race leader is Elsa Gourlay, a junior 16 paddler from Strathallan Canoe Club, with that time 168.13. So that's the lead time at the moment. Remember, it's all about getting a place in the top 20, but the higher up you finish, the later you go off in tomorrow's semi-final, which from a tactical perspective is pretty important in the sport of canoe slalom. We've seen Joe Clark, the Olympic champion. He has qualified through in first place for tomorrow's semi-final, so he will go off last. Bradley Forbes-Cryans was second. He'll go off as the penultimate boat. Zach Allen for Tees Tigers, a great run, in third. Chris Bowers also 97.69. We didn't see his time. I think there were some timing problems, but he is fourth, so he will go fourth from last tomorrow. So some big names there. Kieran Lee Edwards in fifth, Zach Franklin in sixth, Jono Atkinson in seventh for Proteus Canoe Club, eighth Stuart Gary, ninth Duncan Edwards, and 10th Remy Bordeaux. That was the top 10. They'll go off in reverse order. Of course, there's still 10 places up for grabs on those second runs, and it looks like Kurt Adams Rosenthal's is first to miss out on a place on the first runs, and they all start again. One more run for the remaining 66 paddlers on the start line, but now on that second run, only fighting it out for 10 places. The remaining 10 places in tomorrow's semi-final. But in the C1 women's event now, wearing bib number 23, Jessica Magson of Stafford and Stone Canoe Club crosses the finish line, and now the lead is provisionally held by Jessica Magson, but just checking on penalties there. But at the moment, provisionally into that race lead, 150.42 for Jessica Magson here at the 2017 British Open. So on course, bib number 22, Katie McDermott, Lee Valley Paddle Sports Club paddler. Of course, Lee Valley Paddle Sports Club, very successful last weekend at the National Interclub Championships for Canoe Slalom, where they won the overall title for the first time. And always a great event, that event at Cardington, just up the road from here near Bedford. Really sociable event, fun event, and to me it epitomises what is so great about not only the sport of canoe slalom, but the sport of canoeing, a really family-friendly sport. So coming out of the upstream gate 18, we have Katie McDermott of Lee Valley Paddle Sports Club. Can she beat the current race leader's time of Jessica Magson, 150.42? That is the time to beat. And remember, the top 20 paddlers from this heat, this first run of the heats, will go through straight entry into tomorrow's semi-finals. Those semi-finals tomorrow, it's sudden death. It's a straight single run, and only the top 10 will progress through to the final. So Katie McDermott has picked up a 50-second penalty on gate 12, and currently only sitting in 7th place. But provisionally that means that Jessica Magson and Elsa Gourlay are into tomorrow's semi-final. So well done to those two athletes. Of course, this is provisional results, but it just shows that you may not have to come back again on your second run to get a place in that semi-final. So on course at the top part of the course now, it is Rachel Brown of Home Pierpont Canoe Club coming through gate 6 and gate 7. Evie Fletcher of Home Pierpont Canoe Club is further down the course, but let's focus at the top part of the course on gate 9 at Rachel Brown. So a tricky little move there to get the line right for 9. Rachel Brown having to just go back again, but that's fine. Nicely done through gate 9. Now using the eddy to come back at 10 to get the boat speed and set up this tricky offset sequence through 11, 12, 13 and 14. And then you get a little bit of respite into the upstream 15 before a tricky technical move on 16. So good course set by Tommy Power for today. We'll have a new course for tomorrow. And our course designer for tomorrow is Craig Morris. And I haven't seen the design, so it'll be interesting to see whether it gets a little bit tougher as we get into semi-final and final mode. Don't forget, there's rafting going on the Legacy Channel here at the Lee Valley Whitewater Centre. The raft racing going on, a really emerging discipline in paddle sport. And again, final preparations underway there for those athletes going out to Japan for the World Championships. That's near Osaka in Japan. And that is, I'm not sure actually the date of it, but it's certainly very soon that the team travel out to get familiar with the site and those World Championships. You can also have a go at paddling on the lake. Perfect conditions, no wind. It's a nice September day. We can do it a bit more sunshine, but there's no rain. That's the important bit. And you have a go at the great sport of canoeing and kayaking down on the lake. There's also going to be some freestyle on the Legacy Channel, and then there'll be the start later on this afternoon at 3:30 of the motocross qualification heats. And that motocross head-to-head racing will get underway later this evening, I think at 8 o'clock on the Olympic Channel. So here, as part of Super September, lots going on as part of this British canoeing Super September series. Of course, you can follow that all on Twitter at British Canoeing and get engaged. Hashtag Super September. So the leaderboard unchanged. Jessica Magson still leading the race and leading it for Stafford and Stone Canoe Club ahead of Elsa Gourlay. Elsa Gourlay of Strath Allen Canoe Club. Rachel Brown in third place provisionally. Maya Harrison in fourth place, and provisionally the top four all through to the semi-final tomorrow. But it is all about getting high up in this race in order to go off last. And we've got some high caliber athletes here in this race. We've got Ailey Gibson, World Championship, multiple finalists, World Cup, multiple finalists. We've got Jasmine Royal, a World Championship finalist, a World Cup medalist, and recently a World Cup finalist just a couple of weeks ago. Sophie Ogilvie, who is leading the way in the standings so far, so she goes off fifth from last. But we've also got the under-23 World Champion, Mallory Franklin. She is the penultimate boat in this event. And then last off will be the national champion from 2016, but the European champion from 2017. So it really is a who's who of paddling. And I should also say Beth Forrow from Lee Valley Paddle Sports Club. She goes off late on, and from memory she was fourth at the Junior World Championships in C1 Women this season. So a quality result there for her in her second season on the Great Britain Junior team. So coming down towards the bottom part of the course, it is Ellis Miller, another Lee Valley Paddle Sports Canoe Club paddler, a member of that Great Britain Junior team in 2017, and certainly looking like she's going to challenge the lead time that is currently set. Well, we have a change in the lead. Well, Hannah Thomas is our race leader, 142.92, so she's into the semi-final, and Ellis Miller, 131.05. That includes 6 seconds of penalties, but it's still good enough at this stage for the race lead. So Ellis Miller, Hannah Thomas, they're our top two, both for Lee Valley Paddle Sports Club. Then Jessica Magson, and Jessica Magson paddling for Stafford and Stone Canoe Club. On course is bib number 15, Esme Durrant of Home Pierpont Canoe Club. Just getting a little bit held in the stopper just between gate 10 and 11. And now needing to find the line, find the rhythm through 11, 12, 13 and 14. Really so important to get a rhythm in the sport of canoe slalom. If you get it off track, you can't focus on what's been. You need to refocus on the plan and on what's coming before you. So here, ducking out of 16, looking like she's getting the field back into the run through 17, a good upstream on 18, and this run will be right on track. A little bit low for Esme Durrant, but importantly, keeping it clean. So at the moment, well, 2 touches showing on gate 10 and 11. That was where the line slipped away from Esme. But definitely, she has found the line. She has found the rhythm on this bottom part of the course. Gets a good run through 21. Uses the boat speed to surf the wave into the upstream 22. And now one more gate stands between her and a place in tomorrow's British Open 2017 C1 Women's semi-final. So Ellis Miller still leading the race, 131.05 is the time. Esme Durrant into 4th place, and that's good enough for a place in the semi-final. 131.05 is our current race leader time as we get into the final 12 boats in this competition. I'll be back in just a couple of moments. So no change at the top of the leaderboard. It is still Ellis Miller leading the way for Lee Valley Paddle Sports Club, 131.05. That's ahead of Hannah Thomas, again from Lee Valley Paddle Sports Club. And in third place, Jessica Magson of Stafford and Stone Canoe Club. That's the top three at the moment. And those top three have qualified through to tomorrow's semi-final, as have Esme Durrant, Elsa Gourlay, Rachel Brown, Maya Harrison, Macy Calvert, and Evie Fletcher so far. We still have a number of athletes to come in this competition. They're the highest ranked athletes from the 2016 season, and included in them is a bit of a who's who on the international stage as well, including the current European champion Kimberly Woods, under 23 world champion Mallory Franklin. We've got Jasmine Roy, we've got Sophie Ogilvie, the leader of the Premier Series so far this season. So lots of boats still to go. So coming under the bridge at the moment is wearing bib number 12 is Emily Davis of Bala Canoe Club, coming into the downstream gate 9. Looks like she's had to go back for that, but a quick wiggle, and that won't cost too much time. But remember, if you want, sorry, it's bib number 11, isn't it? Emily Davis is down the bottom of the course, and it's Hannah Owen on the course from Lee Valley Paddle Sports Club. My apologies, and Hannah is lying in second place in the overall Premier standings at this stage in the season. So a little mistake there we saw on gate 9. It would have cost a couple of seconds, but no penalties showing on the top 4 gates so far. So Hannah Owen comes in and out of the switches the blade in 16. Now needs to set up the boat, flick the bows downstream on 17, and now set up into the fourth upstream gate 18 on this 23 gate course. Ellis Miller is leading. We have a change in the leaderboard. Emily Davis has slotted into second place for Bala Canoe Club, and will be comfortably into the semi-final tomorrow. Hannah Thomas relegated to third place for Lee Valley Paddle Sports Club. Evie Watson has just gone in at 13th place, so at the moment just waiting to see whether she'll get a place in the semi-final on this run, or whether she has to go again this afternoon in the second run of the heats. So now, coming to the finish, Hannah Owen of Lee Valley Paddle Sports Club racing for a place in the semi-final. Into second place, 1:33.90. That's just outside the lead time. Ellis Miller's time includes 6-second penalties, so it was a very quick time from our race leader. So it is Ellis Miller leading ahead of Hannah Owen and Emily Davis. That's the top 3 at the moment. Down towards the bottom of the course, it is Daisy Cooley from Tees Tigers coming down through 13 and 14. And Daisy's had a good standing so far through the national season. Coming through 16, a little bit deep on the setup now for 17. But today's job is about qualifying through into the semi-final, and just making sure that there are no major mistakes that threaten a place into tomorrow's semi-final. So out of the upstream gate 18, and Daisy certainly showing clean on the top 19 gates of the course. So a good run coming together, good steady, solid, composed run here as she negotiates the final 2 gates on this 23 gate course, set by Tommy Power. Now that time 1:31.05, that's the target time to take the race lead. Daisy's going to be outside of that time, but critically is into the semi-final. In 5th place provisionally, and a clean run for Daisy Cool of Tees Tigers. And Hannah Owen still second, Emily Davis third, and it's Ellis Miller leading the way. So on course now, coming down through gate 17, wearing bib number 8, it's Phoebe Spicer of Lee Valley Paddle Sports Club. Lots of young up-and-coming talent coming out of Lee Valley Paddle Sports Club, making fantastic facility and really showing Olympic legacy in action. Now, Phoebe was in the Great Britain junior team this summer, in and out of the upstream gate 22. This is looking like a good run coming together. A 2-second penalty has been picked up on the downstream gate 8, but this almost certainly is going to challenge the race leader. It may even take the race leader, and it does. Boom! Phoebe Spicer takes the race lead, 122.21. And Lee Valley Paddle Sports Club have the top 3 positions at the moment, but they surely will be under threat from our next competitor, Ailey Gibson from Strath Allan Canoe Club. Ailey Gibson, an accomplished paddler on the senior and under 23 circuit, has had a little bit of time out through injury, but has wisely taken that time out to come back fighting strong at the end of the season. So Ailey now launching out of 15. This is a critical move here on 16. You can see she holds the eddy line well, keeps the boat moving, and that's very tidy for Ailey Gibson. Clean on the top 14 gates of the course. Very tight, wraps around the upstream gate 18. The time to beat 122.21. That is the time to beat. And now it's into the upstream gate 21. Really tidy, really composed, keeping that boat speed on. Now riding the wave into gate 22. One more gate to go. So Ailey Gibson surely is charging towards the finish on a great run, a clean run. And on the top of the course, Bethan Forrow, who's lying 3rd overall in the National Premier Championship standings, is on the middle part of the course. Here she is through gate 7 and gate 8, dropping into the downstream gate 9 and upstream gate 10. So Bethan Forrow for Lee Valley Paddle Sports Club is on course. Ailey Gibson, I confirm, has gone into a race lead 113.18, a clear run and 9 seconds quicker than second place Phoebe Spicer and third place Ellis Miller. So some really strong paddling, and of course Ailey Gibson will be going out to the World Championships along with Mallory Franklin and Kimberly Woods in just around about a week's time, ready to prepare for those World Championships. Beth Forrow is on course. She has picked up 2 penalties in the top half of the course, a touch on gate 6 and a touch on gate 9. So that may well hamper her opportunity to take the race lead. But as much as anything in the heats, it is all about making sure you comfortably qualify into that semi-final. Tomorrow is where it really starts to get serious. It's all about one-run delivery, no margin for error, and they're racing for the British Open Championship title tomorrow for 2017 as part of this great British Canoeing Super September series. So Bethan Forrow now completing her run, sprinting to the finish. It's going to be close whether she can slot into second place. We'll have to wait and see. She's outside of second place and into third place for Bethan Forrow of Lee Valley Paddle Sports Club. So next up, they come thick and fast down the course. Wearing bib number 5, it is our current Premier leader in both C1 women and in the K1 women, Sophie Ogilvie of CR Cats. So a junior athlete, paddled very strongly in 2016 and showing that she's still emerging as a talented junior athlete as she drops into the upstream 15. She gets really good consistency of pace, keeps the boat moving. That's so important in the sport of canoe slalom. She chooses to spin above the gate line in gate 16. Does it nicely, very much in touch on the upstream 18. So our race leader is still Ailey Gibson with that time of 1:13. That's the time that everybody is chasing. 1:13.18. In second, it's Phoebe Spicer, and then in third, Bethan Forrow. But we still have 5 boats to cross the finish line. Sophie Ogilvie will be the first of those 5, and still to come, Rachel Houston, Jasmine Royal, Mallory Franklin, Kimberly Woods, all who've been prolifically racing across the international season in 2017. So into second place provisionally for Sophie Ogilvie, 120.89. And Sophie Ogilvie of CR Cats, well done, you're into tomorrow's semi-final. So 4 boats to finish here in the British Canoeing 2017 Canoe Slalom British Open. Part of Super September, lots to do here at the Lee Valley Whitewater Centre. A very warm welcome, whether you're watching live on the YouTube channel or whether you're here in person at this great Olympic legacy venue. So now coming through the course, through gate 14, it is Rachel Houston of CR Cats. Now coming through 15, ready for the spin on the downstream gate 16. Now Rachel Houston she's had a number of World Cup opportunities, not only actually racing in the sport of canoe slalom, but she's also been racing in wild water racing. So a very busy international season behind Rachel, and I'm not actually sure. She may well be competing in the World Championships in a couple of weeks' time in the wild water racing discipline in Pau in France. So Rachel finishing off her run as we look at whether the final 3 competitors, Jasmine Royal, Mallory Franklin, Kimberly Woods, are still to go. And up the top of the course we will have Jasmine Royal on the course. So Jasmine Royal coming down the middle part into the upstream gate 10, wearing bib number 3. Jasmine was a finalist at the World Cup in Ivrea in Italy at the beginning of September. Now focused on looking to see if she can add a British Open title to her 2017 season. Jasmine had a disappointing selection series, didn't make it into the Great Britain senior team this year, but she's certainly been making the most of the opportunity to continue to develop, and the confirmation of C1 Women being in the 2020 Olympic programme, a real boost to all of these athletes as it will make its debut in Tokyo. Jasmine Royal now coming down towards the finish. Rachel Houston only into 8th place, but that is good enough for the semi-final place. So as Jasmine Royal finishes her run, at the top of the course we have the under-23 world champion Mallory Franklin, wearing bib number 2, coming down through gate 5. Mallory, who's a multiple senior world championship World Cup medalist, and she's a double under-23 European championship gold medalist. She's never done the under-23 worlds, but she made amends for that this year and took the under-23 world title in her last year as an under-23 athlete. So a great season so far, and she'll go to the World Championships in a fortnight's time, hungry to add a title, a world title, to her growing list of achievements, and she will be competing not only in this event, the C1 Women, but also in the K1 Women's event. So Mallory Franklin now looking very smooth. Windsor and District Canoe Club down through gate 16, a little bit sticky through 17, but that's only going to cost fractions of a second as she comes in. So Mallory Franklin on the bottom of the course. Kimberly Woods is on the top of the course. We'll follow her when Mallory finishes her run. And Mallory now, 3 gates to go. Ailey Gibson's time, 1:13.18, a clear run time. Mallory Franklin looking very smooth indeed. It's going to be tight. Can she get inside of that? Now we know that Joe Clark did a 92. I would suspect an early 100 will be a great run time. And it looks like Mallory Franklin is going to be our new race leader. She is indeed. Boom! 1:10.35. Mallory Franklin takes the race lead ahead of Ailey Gibson. Jasmine Royal has slotted into 3rd place. That's the top 3 at the moment. 1 boat still to go. She's the European champion of 2017. Wearing bib number 1, it is Kimberly Woods for Rugby Canoe Club into the upstream gate 10. So the time that Kimberly needs to beat if she is to set off last in tomorrow's semi-final is 1:10.35. So the national champion of 2016, the European champion of 2017, ladies and gentlemen, give a big round of applause. Kimberly Woods coming down the course. And Kimberly, as well as Mallory, who we've just seen in action, will be in the British canoeing tent just next to the Olympic Channel at 1:30 signing pictures. But drama here. Kimberly Woods has missed gate 17. She will be able to go back for it, but that will cost her time. So almost certainly Mallory Franklin will go off last in tomorrow's semi-final. Now it's damage limitation. Kimberly Woods fighting back through the field. She'll be trying to make sure that she doesn't have to do a second run today because she's still competing in the kayak later on. And Kimberly now will be fully focused on, while she's lost a big chunk of time there, that she hopefully will still have done enough to get through into the semi-final. And she can focus the rest of the day on that kayak women's event. So Kimberly Woods, it's damage limitation. Her time 1:30.18. So into 7th place. Importantly for Kimberly, into tomorrow's semi-final. But it just shows one little mistake, and that can prove very costly indeed. So the provisional results for the C1 women's heats is Mallory Franklin is our race winner, 1:10.35. Hayley Gibson is second. Jasmine Royal is third. So those three will go in reverse order, and Mallory Franklin going off last in tomorrow's semi-final. 20 boats have qualified through into tomorrow's semi-final, and those outside the top 20 will go again this afternoon, and from there it will be down to one person will have to miss out on a place in the semi-final. Tough, but I guess that's racing. So well done, Mallory Franklin. You are comfortably through to tomorrow's semi-final. You'll go off last, and I guess again Mallory will be focusing on her kayak racing, which will be one of the categories that will be up very shortly. So the next category in this, the British Canoeing British Open, is the second runs of the veterans. Then we'll have the second runs of the men's kayaks, and then the second runs of the C1 women. So then this afternoon we'll have the K1 women, the C1 men, and the C2 men in action. And just let's have a quick refresh of what's going on. If you're following on YouTube, then you're missing this. You can still get down to the Lee Valley Whitewater Centre. If you can't make it today, then come tomorrow. It's free to get in. Lots of action here at the British Canoeing Super September Series. If you're here on the venue, then once again a very warm welcome on behalf of British Canoeing to this festival of paddle sports, part of the Super September Series. And not only on the Olympic course, we have the qualification for tomorrow's semi-finals and finals of the Canoe Slalom British Open 2017. But also on the Legacy Channel, we have the rafting. We've got raft racing going on the Legacy Channel. And then there's actually the opportunity to have a go at rafting yourself. Give it a go. Is it something that's going to float your boat, shall we say? Then we've got the freestyle event. We'll be getting underway on the Legacy Channel around about 1 o'clock. The opportunity to watch some freestyle. And then later on that Legacy Channel, the smaller channel on this great facility, is the Motocross, the qualification rounds, and then that Motocross will have its head-to-head finals on the Olympic Channel at 8 o'clock this evening. But also you can have a go at paddle sports. Get down to the lake outside the main reception, look for the British Canoeing tent and have a go yourself. We've got qualified instructors on hand, and that you can participate in that for free. And there's our trade stands. Now I should remind you that our trade stands, we've got Red Bull, we've got Bull Rafts, and they're great supporters of British rafting, but also they manufacture a lot of rescue gear as well. So talk to Hoops, he'll give you all the information you need. We've got Hydro Sports, Steve and his team, alongside next to the Olympic Channel there. We've got Tent Box above and below, who are their resident shop here on site at the Lee Valley Whitewater Centre, and Cotswold Outdoor, who are a of the British Canoeing uh, organisation. And there's a couple of competitions I should make you aware of. So you can win a Cotswold gift card, I believe, a £50 gift card. And you need to go to the British Canoeing event tent next to the Olympic Channel, and well, they'll tell you what to do there, but it sounds like an opportunity. You need to get down there and make sure that you enter yourself into that competition. There's also Super September t-shirts. They're £12 a piece, limited edition. So you need to get yourself down to the British Canoeing tent. They've got the opportunity to get yourself a British Canoeing Super September t-shirt at £12. And now, athlete signings. You want to meet an Olympic athlete, an under-23 world champion, a European champion, or a multiple world and Olympic medalist, three-time world champion, three-time Olympic medalist. Well, 1:30 is what you need to get in your diary. Just make sure you set every reminder, tie a knot in your toes, tie a knot in your tie, although I suspect there's not many people wearing ties on the venue today. At 1:30, that's what you need to remember. Maybe the best bet is to set an alarm on your phone. And at the British Canoeing tent, because Joe Clark, David Florence, Kimberly Woods and Mallory Franklin will be on the British Canoeing tent and available to do selfies with, or you can get an autograph, or within reason, I'm sure they'll be open to any requests. So don't forget there's the Super September selfie board at the British Canoeing stand. So again, hashtag Super September, and then follow everything that's going on here at British Canoeing on Twitter. So at British Canoeing, and also on Facebook, the British Canoeing Facebook page. So lots of activity. Also, don't forget, keep yourself hydrated and filled up with food. The marquee is on the infield, the big white marquee next to the Olympic course. You can get food and drink all day, and make sure you, I would say, put sun cream on, but maybe not such a high priority, but at least you won't have to put your raincoat on, or at least not quite yet. So warm welcome to the British Canoeing Super September Series. It's the British Open. We hope you enjoy your day here, and make sure you come back again tomorrow, because we've got the finals and the semi-finals tomorrow. We've got the Division 2 competition in slalom going on the Legacy Channel. And bring your friends. If you've enjoyed today, bring your friends. They can have a go at paddling on the lake too. So lots to do. And if you can't make it tomorrow, then you can watch it on the live feed. Follow our YouTube channel, the British Canoeing TV YouTube channel, and you'll be able to follow all the action. So from me, Andy Maddock, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to give you a break as well for a moment from me, and I'm going to have a quick break, and then I'll be back for the second runs of the K1 Men, which has just started, and I'll talk you through those in just a few minutes' time. welcome back, and we are now well into the second runs of the men's kayak heats here at the Lee Valley Whitewater Centre. It's the first day of racing in the 2017 British Open, and the athletes are qualifying through into tomorrow's semi-finals. 96 athletes started the first runs. The top 30 from the first runs are already through into the semi-final tomorrow. They don't have to go again. They will race off in reverse order, and of course our fastest boat was the Olympic champion from last year, Joe Clark, for Stafford and Stone Canoe Club, 92.3 something on his first run, and he will go off last in the semi-finals. But there's still 10 boats up for grabs, the final 10 boats in the semi-finals, and so we have 66 boats in the second run, racing it out for 10 places in the semi-final. The remaining 10 places, and the athletes racing in reverse order of their national ranking. So at the moment the red bibs are Division 1 paddlers paddling up, and then we'll get into the Premier Division athletes who again will go down through the ranking. So in theory, the times should tumble. But we saw some exceptional paddling from Joe Clark, from Chris Bowers, from Bradley Forbes, from Zach Allen, all with times under 100 seconds. I probably should include Zach Franklin and Kieran Lee Edwards as well, because they were both under 100 seconds. So it'll be interesting to see on the second runs. It's getting tight. If you want to place in the semi-final tomorrow, then there are only 10 spots. So 66 paddlers will race it out. 56 paddlers will get their BFH, their bus fare home, and they won't be progressing through to the semi-final. So we wish everyone success over the course of the second runs of the heats here at the 2017 Men's Kayak British Open. And we'll talk you through the results. But at the moment, the results so far, Matt McDermott is our race leader. His time, 1:21.92, is the race lead time. Ian Davis in second place. Jack O'Connor is in third place. That's the top three at the moment, but we are still very early in this 66-boat second run of the heats. Now coming through gate 20, down on the bottom part of the course, we have bib number 54. In fact, no, it isn't. It's bib number 48 coming through gate 22. A little bit of problems there, ducking and diving around gate 22. Sometimes these athletes, well, a lot of the time, these athletes make it look very easy. But when it does go wrong, you can just see how pushy the white water is, particularly here on this artificial venue, built purposely for the London 2012 Olympic Games. And in my opinion, the best example of Olympic legacy in action of any venue in any sport. It's absolutely, not only is it serving the community here around Lee Valley, but it's serving canoeing on a national basis. The canoe club that has grown out of this facility has got some great young local talent coming out of it. Just recently back last weekend from winning the National Interclub Championships for the first time. And importantly, commercially successful. You can see lots of developments. The site is always evolving, and that's important for a site like this. We've seen so many Olympic venues of not only canoeing but other disciplines where the venues after the games fall into disrepair, and it seems such a waste. We've seen venues in Athens, swimming pools, and even Rio already. A lot of the venues are not being used in legacy. So great to see the success that the Lee Valley Regional Park Authority, the vibrant partnerships have made of this venue, and I'd like to say in partnership with British Canoeing as well, who have been a part of that partnership right from the conceptual stage of the design of this facility. So the leaderboard unchanged. Matt McDermott place now. So that lead time though still 1:21.92. Whether that will be enough to take a top 10 place, it's unclear at this stage. What we can start to do is look at the results from the first runs and get a bit of a gauge of the times. Not a particularly scientific way of doing it, but certainly 40th place on the first runs was around 118.66. So I would suggest with a little bit of learning from the second runs, then a time under 118 is important in order to stand a chance of being inside that top 10. And, Edward Dickinson from Stafford and Stone Canoe Club, right on cue, goes into the race lead. 1:17.52. So we continue to work our way through the reverse order of the men's kayak heats here. It's the second run of the heat, 66 boats going for just 10 places remaining in that semi-final. Callum Walling on course for Shepperton Canoe Club, going through gate 9 now. He had a pretty solid first run. Wasn't quite enough though to get through into the second run, so goes again here at this British Canoeing 2017 British Open, and that's part of the Super September Series. Started in Nottingham with the Sprint Regatta, then the Canoe Polo National Championships in Nottingham. Now, this weekend, we're here in a festival of paddle sport with the British Open Slalom, Div 2 Slalom. We've got rafting, we've got freestyle, we've got motocross here at this great legacy venue of the London Games. Then we go on to the Hasler Finals in Marathon next weekend and finish off with the freestyle in Nottingham. So Callum Walling just having a little bit of problems on gate 18. Great recovery. It's amazing you can find a route around any gate if you need to. And now finishing off his run. But it's still Edward Dickinson leading the race for Stafford and Stone Canoe Club. 1:17.52 his time. And as I was saying, I'm going to put my neck out a little bit. I think somewhere around the 1:17 cut-off time for getting into tomorrow's semi-final on these second runs. So at the moment, Edward Dickinson, our current race leader, is in the mix. And I guess we'll have to wait over the course of the next 40 minutes or so to see whether he has done enough already. The top 30 from this morning's first run are through. They've got the afternoon off. They can refocus on the semi-final tomorrow. They might even take part in the motocross. Don't forget, not only have we got the slalom going on, we've got motocross, we've got freestyle. I believe it's the Nottingham Freestyle League on tour. That starts at about 1 o'clock on the Legacy Channel. So in an hour's time, the Have a Go at Rafting is going to get underway in around about 5 minutes' time. So the racing for the rafting on the Legacy Channel is just coming to an end. And then your opportunity to have a go at rafting yourself on the Legacy Channel here at the British Canoeing Super September Series. Keep engaged on Twitter at British Canoeing and hashtag Super September. And don't forget to visit the trade stands in the middle of the course next to the Olympic Channel. There's competitions. Cotswold Outdoor have got a competition. Lots of goodies, I'm sure, to buy or see. And 1:30, so an hour and a half from now, you have the opportunity to meet with Joe Clark, Mallory Franklin, Kimberly Woods, David Florence. They'll be available to sign autographs. So don't forget to get yourself. That's at the British Canoeing tent on the infield. I can see blue sky. The sun is coming out here at the Lee Valley Whitewater Centre. Conditions perfect, very little wind, and that's perfect for fair racing conditions here at this venue. So no change at the top of the leaderboard. Still Edward Dickinson leading 117.52. Nick Berwick has just gone in 140.15 into 8th place on the second runs. And so still to come this morning, we've got obviously the end of the men's kayak heats we're watching now, and then we'll have the C1 women second runs of the heats. And then I believe there's a lunch break. Obviously, it's food and drink supplied all day. The partnerships, Lee Valley Whitewater Centre here, they are refurbishing their cafe on site. So those of you who are regular listeners here will notice that the cafe is being refurbished, but don't panic. It's still food being served on site, and that is being served on the main marquee next to the Olympic Channel. I think also the cafeteria at the bottom of the course near the finish line between the Olympic course and the Legacy Channel also is food. So you won't go hungry today. Don't panic if you see the closed signs on the cafe in the main building. So let's look. Edward Dickinson still holding on to the lead. Theo Lunny has just gone into 5th place. Ryan Cross into 8th place. And Theo Lunny just looks like too many penalties on that run, plus 10. So it was a quick time, but 10 seconds in penalties for the young paddler from Shepperton Slalom Canoe Club. Shepperton Canoe Club based on the Thames, not too far from here. It depends on the time of day, really, as to how long it takes on the dreaded M25. But certainly this facility here, a great addition to the London and the South East to bring white water to the doorstep of many of these paddlers. So on the bottom of the course, it is James Kettle from Lee Valley Paddle Sports Club. Aaron Godfrey is in the middle of the course for Stafford and Stone Canoe Club. Both of them looking on this second run to put in a good run and qualify through to tomorrow's semi-final. So now coming into the upstream gate 18, it is our competitor from Stafford and Stone, Aaron Godfrey, in and out of the upstream 18, down through 19 and 20. Now the double upstream sequence 21 and 22. That's the only thing that stands between him and a place in the semi-final. A penalty has been given, though, a 2-second penalty on gate 16. But no dramas. just needs to keep it clean, keep it composed as he finishes off the run. So to be outside the current race leader time, that still is held by Edward Dickinson of Stafford and Stone Canoe Club. James Kettle into 4th place, Aaron Godfrey into 7th place. Those are the results as they come in. We're still going to wait a little bit before we find out who has made it in, because just 10 people on this second run will go through into tomorrow's semi-final from the 66 paddlers that will start these second runs. So at the top of the course, near gate 9, it is Finlay Yates Jones of Clandestine Paddlers, ducking and diving out of gate 10. We're good number 98 now, coming, ducking under 11. Good tight lines through 12 and 13, keeping the boat running. So critical on that middle section. You might get a little bit of a rest from the big white water, but it's where easy time can be won or lost. So it's so important to keep focused. Make sure you really nail those lines. Working with the white water is critical. Great line through 17. Very tight onto 18. Maybe too tight there. We'll have to wait and see what the judges have to say there. But now coming down through gate 19. But we've got a change on the leaderboard. Evan Yalkin has gone into 2nd place for Lee Valley Paddle Sport Club with a total of 121.74. So Edward Dickinson still leading for Stafford and Stone. Aaron Yalkin for Lee Valley Paddle Sports Club in 2nd place. And Matt McDermott of Breadalbine Canoe Club is in 3rd place. We still have to wait and see whether those top 3 will stand the test of time and qualify through in. I guess for them it's a waiting game. They've done all that they can do, and now they just need to wait and see if that is enough to take them through to tomorrow's semi-final. Well, a bit of surfing going on here. Just trying to work out what gate that is. That's gate 3 to 4 at the top part of the course. So that must be right up Liam J. Brown of Home Pierpont Canoe Club having a bit of a surf at the top of the course. Not only will that lose a bit of time, but the energy will really have been really wasted there. Not his choice. And great to see him totally refocused and nailing that move in the middle at 9 to 10. So really giving it his all as he comes down. Feel free to give him a cheer a little bit. Stopper surfing again from 10 to 11. Saps the energy. Now straight lining through 11 to 12. Certainly ducking and diving through there as he comes towards the oval section. Upstream 15. And then got to work through the spin on 16, and then that tricky little move on the back of the hole on 17. But as I speak, we've had some changes to the leaderboard. We have a new race leader. Lewis McDermott of Lee Valley Paddle Sports Club goes in 115.84. Then Finlay Yates Jones is in 2nd place. And that's for Clandestine Paddlers. Edward Dickinson now in 3rd place for Stafford and Stone. And that lead time, 115.84. Now that's getting into the region that I was saying I think will be enough to get into the semi-finals tomorrow. But what do I know? We'll have to wait and see. But certainly both Lewis McDermott and Finlay Yates Jones have put themselves right in the mix to get a place in tomorrow's semi-final. The sun is coming out. Ever the optimist. Anyone that knows me and my commentary, it doesn't matter how grim the weather is, I will always be the optimist. Well, I can see sunshine. I can see shadows. That, to me, is a positive day. So welcome to the British Canoeing Super September Series. I think the raft racing is just coming to an end on the Legacy Channel, but don't be put off, because actually it's your turn now. If you want to have a go at rafting, great sport, really emerging discipline in the paddle sports discipline, then get yourself to the Legacy Channel. I'm not sure if you're too late, but I'm sure if you really want to do it, they'll find a way of getting you engaged. On the Olympic Channel, we've got the second run rounds of the K1 men. The final qualifiers, the final 10 places will be decided into tomorrow's semi-final. On the water, now that the sun is shining, there is no excuse. You need to get yourself down to the lake on Lakeside, where our qualified British canoeing coaches will be able to give you a great experience, and you can find out why everybody who's involved in paddling loves it so much. Lots of other things to do. Get to our trade stands. Make sure you keep hashtagging Super September. Keep up to date with all the action at British Canoeing on our Twitter account. And make sure you get down to the British Canoeing stand. I think you can even make some noise with, I don't know what they're called, but there's some UK sport lottery funding things that you bang together and they make lots of noise. I think clapper boards or something like that. But anyway, and that brings me to UK sport lottery funding, because without you buying your lottery tickets, then our top athletes would not be able to prepare themselves so well for World, European, Olympic Games and Paralympic success. And of course, please keep buying those lottery tickets. It really does make a difference. And the lottery funding provided to our athletes through UK Sport, it just enables Great Britain to really challenge to be the best. And of course, in the London Olympic Games, produced an outstanding performance. Rio went even better, second in the Olympic medal table and second in the Paralympic medal table too. What can we do in Tokyo? Well, please keep buying those lottery tickets. It really does make a difference, and that will help to give our athletes the best opportunities in the Olympic and Paralympic Games in the Tokyo. Canoeing is not just about canoe slalom. I guess this weekend is a festival of a bit more all things white water. We've got rafting, we've got freestyle, we've got motocross, we've got slalom. But we also, canoeing is such a great diverse sport. It has disciplines, flat water disciplines. We've got sprint racing. We had the Super September kicked off in Nottingham with a sprint regatta, another Olympic event. Liam Heath is now won the world title in the 200 metres and is actually the only, well, there's 3 people in the world, I think, who have the Olympic, World and European Championship title concurrently. Liam Heath is one of them, Mo Farah is another, and I believe Adam Peaty is the other one. So some outstanding performance from Liam Heath to add the world title to his European title and Olympic title. Also, the Paralympic athletes canoeing have been in action at those World Championships, and Jeanette Chippington, Emma Wiggs, adding a world title, well, another world title to their Paralympic titles, and great performances there. Johnny Young taking the gold medal in the Vaha event, which actually, as of last week, has been added to the Paralympic programme. So another great opportunity for our Paralympic athletes to demonstrate their skills and abilities in the Paralympic Games in Tokyo. But let's get back to the action, because we have a change of the leaderboard. Oscar McBurney has taken the race lead, 1:10.39. Now, surely that's good enough for a place in tomorrow's semi-final. And Oscar is part of the Phantom Project. I'd love to find out what that is, but anyway, that's his club, the Phantom Project. And Oscar McBurney, 1:10.39, and he is our current race leader by 5.45 seconds. But that's just been cut because he's got a 2-second penalty added on the upstream gate 10. So, but he's still our race leader, but only by 3.45 seconds. But surely that will put him in a very strong position to qualify through to tomorrow's semi-finals. Ben Moss has just gone into 12th place. 6 seconds in penalties, dropping him down the order a little bit. And another paddler on course, Jacob Taylor, for Home Pierpont Canoe Club, has picked up a 50-second penalty in the middle section on gate 13. So Jacob Taylor, unfortunately, will not progress through to tomorrow. a semi-final. On course on gate 10 we have Sam Davis. Sam Davis of Brecon Canoe Club. Now coming through gate 11, 12 and 13. So Sam Davis was right up there in the early order on the first run, so he didn't make it through on the first run, but he clearly got some pace and the opportunity to get through on this the second run. 1:12.39 is our current race lead time, and that's Oscar McBurney. back to the action, and on the top part of the course we have our next competitor, Vittorio Pezzaioli of CR Cats Canoe Club. So still Oscar McBurney leading the race, 112.39 and looking comfortable at the top. 3 in a bit, second advantage over Lewis McDermott, and then Finlay Yates-Jones. That's the top 3 as it stands at the moment, but remember, we are in reverse order of the national ranking, so the times should start to fall as the next paddlers come down. And of course, 66 boats racing in this second run heats of the men's kayak, and only 10 spots still up for grabs, the remaining 10 spots for tomorrow's semi-finals. So myself, Andy Maddock, I'll keep you up to date with the action as it happens here at the British Canoeing 2017 British Open for canoe slalom, but part of the Super September series here at the Lee Valley Whitewater Centre, where we've got rafting, we've got freestyle, we've got motocross, we've got slalom, we've got lower division Div 2 slalom, and lots of action here as well as you can have a go to. So go down to the lake, there's a big British Canoeing tent next to the lake, and outside reception you can have a go at paddling. We've got qualified instructors, and you can have a go for free. And I know we've had a few schools here in the run-up to the week. Certainly yesterday I could see there were a number of people actively introducing people to the great sport of canoeing. So great to see the engagement, and you can see how many people from the local area have been sort of positively impacted by this great facility. Lee Valley Paddle Sports Club have got a huge number of people. And in fact, speaking of this great facility, on the top part of the course, wearing bib number 68 is Andy Laird from Copeland Canoe Club in Cumbria. Now, Andy was fairly instrumental in the design of this whitewater course back in 2009-10. Myself, I was involved in the design of the channel ahead of its construction, and myself, Mark Delaney, we were seen as the artists, where the architects needed a scientist, a canoeing scientist, to help to prove that some of our concerns around the design needed attention. And we brought Andy Laird in to do that, and very successfully Andy worked alongside us to fine-tune the design, use his experience and his qualifications, and effectively the channel you see now is the result of that work. So Andy didn't qualify through on the first runs. He's now needing to do something on the second runs. Well, it's made that a little bit harder by a touch on gate 1 and gate 4, but certainly Andy will be enjoying his experience on this whitewater course. In fact, Andy was the first ever person to paddle down this whitewater course. He promised that he would wait for me, but then he sneaked on in the afternoon before I arrived. So I was the second, he was the first, but he clearly hasn't kept up with the rest of the team in terms of exposure to this course. So Andy Laird now coming down towards the bottom of the course for Copeland Canoe Club. John Wales is in the middle part of the course, and then at the top of the course, Caspian Ricks of Bradford and Bingley Canoe Club is on top. But still, Oscar McBurney is leading the way with a total of 112.39. So in the middle of the course now, surfing the wave ahead of 17, it's John Males wearing bib number 67. So on the first run of this, just check out, John Males managed to get into 42nd place. So in theory, right in the shout with a place in that semi-final, because remember there's 40 boats in total, so John Males was 42nd after the first runs. It does mean he's got to repeat that, and we'll have to wait and see. Well, he's clean on the top 19 gates of the course, 122.05, only into 13th place, and Yates Jones. That top three have been holding firm for quite some time. We'll have to wait and see if that stands the test of time. Down the bottom part of the course now, bib number 63, Caspian Ricks of Bradford and Bingley Canoe Club. Of course, canoe club that more recently Darren Cresser has made his home. And I guess our thoughts are still going out to Darren, Emma, and his family as he fights back from those terrible injuries that he sustained in the middle of July in that bike accident. I know the community has rallied round, has shown quite how special everyone is in terms of looking after each other, and Darren and Emma and the family are very much in our thoughts as he has a big fight ahead of him. But he's a huge character, and I'm sure we will all continue to support him and the family through their battle. So through gate 8, we have bib number 48. It's Connor Lenihan of Lee Valley Paddle Sports Club coming into the upstream gate 10. Now exiting 10. Through gate 11, nice direct line through there, shrugs off, good upstream blade on 12, staying ahead of the sequence. And Connor Lenihan looking tidy, but has picked up a 2-second penalty on the upstream gate 4. So needing to keep it clean, keep it focused as he ducks off 16. And nicely now coming into the upstream gate 18. Oscar McBurney still leading the way and has held on to that lead for some time, and the longer he stays in that race lead, the more confident he will be that he'll be in action in tomorrow's semi-final. Connor Lenihan now on a good run in that 21. 2 gates to go now, and catching our previous competitor on the course. So we'll have to wait and see. John Dickinson now finishing. Connor Lenihan finishing. Will Connor Lenihan take the race lead? It's going to be tight. He is. Boom! We have a new race leader. Connor Lenihan takes the race lead for Lee Valley Paddle Sports Club. Oscar McBurney is in second. Lewis McDermott drops to third, and 1:11.02 for Connor Lenihan. And that includes the 2-second penalty. So I would say he could be pretty confident that he will be in tomorrow's semi-final. Well done, Connor. But you will have to wait until that is confirmed. So in and out of the upstream gate 18 is Jake Brown wearing bib number 38 and representing Tees Tigers, ducking and diving on 21. Jake Brown clean on the top 11 gates on the course. No information, in fact, updated clean on the top 19 gates of the course. A bit of a wobble just approaching the final gate. Now sprinting to the finish, and it's going to be another good time. Jake Brown into provisionally the race lead. Boom! Jake Brown, 1:09.91, and that would put him representing Tees Tigers surely into the semi-final tomorrow. So the top three: Jake Brown, Connor Lenihan, Oscar McBurney, and three quite significantly ahead of fourth place Lewis McDermott. In and out of the upstream gate 18, wearing bib number 37 is our next competitor, William Taylor. He'll be our next competitor to finish for Home Pierpont Canoe Club. Heading into the upstream gate 21. He's clean on the top part of the course, but it's fast and clean is the name of the game. William Taylor now coming down to finish his second run, and this is the opportunity to qualify into tomorrow's semi-final. It's going to be a long wait to see if that is enough. 1:17.18. Well, if what I said earlier is to be believed, which anyone who knows me is that's a little bit questionable, but if what I said earlier is to be believed, 1:17 will put you in a short of a place in that Jake Brown still leading the way, 109.91. Let's not forget though, 92.39 was the time set by the Olympic champion from Rio 2016, Joseph Clark from Stafford and Stonecroft. He is comfortably through already, and he will race in tomorrow's semi-final. He'll be the last off, going for a place in the British Open Final 2017. So, on course now, coming through the middle section, it's David Patterson of Manchester Canoe Club, wearing bib number 32. Clean on the top 11 gates of the course. As I say, William Taylor actually won't make it through to the semi-final because 2 touches are added on to his time, so only good enough for 13th place. So David Patterson, the next to finish, coming through gate 19 and 20. Clean on the top 14 gates of this 23 gate course, timed by Tommy Power. A little bit of a breakout into the upstream 21. David Patterson having to adjust his line. That'll cost a little bit of time. The fatigue really starts to show at the bottom of the course, and if you get offline, it's so hard to summon that extra bit of energy to get yourself back online. David Patterson finishes his run 113.12. Provisionally, that's a clean run into 4th place, and surely that is without of a place in tomorrow's semi-final. Still, Jake Brown leading the race. So we're getting into the sharp end of racing now in the men's kayak heats of the 2017 British Open. Here, this event run by British Canoeing and an army of volunteers, and a big opportunity to say thank you very much on behalf of for your support, not only this weekend, but your support throughout the year to enable these races to happen. So we're now getting to 10 boats to go in this second run of the heat, which means we will start to know who is qualifying into tomorrow's semi-final. So Alan Hawkes has just gone into 5th place, and I believe he was the 11th boat to go. So next up, we will start to get information on just who is actually going to be qualifying through those final 10 places. So on course, bib number 25, Johnny Dixon of CR Cats and JEM Racing. Coming down through the final few gates on this course. Johnny Dixon clean through the top 14 gates of the course. But critically, I guess if he wants to guarantee a spot in that semi-final, then it has to go into the race lead. 109.91, that'll do. Anything quicker than that, and that will get a place in the semi-final. Anything a bit slower than that, and it's a wait and see. So Johnny Dixon crosses the finish line and into the race lead. 108.96, a clear run. Well done, Johnny Dixon. I think provisionally you are into the semi-final, but well done. We have a new race leader for CR Cats. Johnny Dixon ahead of Jake Brown and Connor Lenihan. So next to finish Championships earlier on this season, and I think finished in the teens at the World Championships, and now coming down towards the bottom, and certainly would be anticipating that he makes it through into the semi-final tomorrow. Well, as we see, he's clean on the top 8 gates. It looks like he's putting together a quick run, but it is all about delivery under pressure on this second run. Just a little bit offline through 23, but he's now sprinting to the finish, and this is the critical time. Will he take the race lead? He does indeed. Boom, 107.92. Mike Dickinson provisionally into the semi-final tomorrow. I have to say, because we're just waiting for only confirmation of penalties gates 1 to 8. The rest is still waiting to be confirmed. So Mike Dickinson, actually, my calculation was slightly incorrect. Mike Dickinson is our first confirmed qualifier. Johnny Dixon, now in second place, is waiting to get in, but surely in pole position to take a spot in tomorrow's semi-final. Next person, effectively, it's Johnny Dixon against Etienne Chappell on course. Sorry, I mean Elliot Davidson on course. So Elliot Davidson of Manchester Canoe Club is coming down now. If Elliot beats the time 108.96, Elliot will have a place in the semi-final. If not, and it's a not, because Elliot Davidson has put in a good performance, but a 5th-second penalty on gate 11 means Johnny Dixon, well done. You can get preparing for the semi-final tomorrow. So, next, wearing bib number 17 is Austin Barker for Stafford and Stone. And Austin has also picked up a 50-second penalty on the downstream gate 11. So that setting up that move, ducking and diving, is obviously causing a bit of problems out there, and that means Austin Barker will not progress through into that semi-final. But what is bad news for Austin Barker is good news for Jake Brown, because that means that Jake Brown, you are into tomorrow's semi-final. So well done, Jake. And Jake represents Tees Tigers. So Jake provisionally into the semi-final. Mike Dickinson, Johnny Dixon, Jake Brown. That's the top 3 at the moment. And those 3 are into tomorrow's semi-finals. 7 more boats still to finish. 7 more places still to be allocated in tomorrow's semi-final. On course now, it is bib number 9, Paul Sunderland. Now, Paul Sunderland, a surprise person going on the second runs, and has had a 50-second penalty on gate 4. Now, he may not know that, and but if that's a penalty that's going to stand, this is a big surprise. Paul Sunderland will not progress through into the semi-finals. Paul Sunderland has represented Great Britain on the under-23 team this year. He's learnt the difference between petrol and diesel as well, I believe, at those European Championships. But Paul Sunderland will not be progressing through into tomorrow's semi-final. And that does mean that Connor Lenihan of Lee Valley Paddle Sports Club will be progressing into the semi-final. So well done, Connor, and unlucky Paul Sunderland. It's a quick time for Paul Sunderland, 110.27, but that 50-second penalty on gate 4 is the difference between a place in the semi-final and a bus fare home. So, next on course, it's one of our international competitors from Switzerland. It's Lois Bianzina of Switzerland, an under-23 category age group paddler. Coming down, wearing bib number 113, has picked up a 2-second penalty on gate 17. And this is an ICF World Ranking event, and I'm not even going to attempt to explain the different rules, but there is a rule around how many international qualifiers will make it through into the semi-final. So, yeah, I'm not going to this athlete on the bottom part of the course is from Ireland. It's Oisin Farrell. Again, needing to race on the second runs and needing a good run in order to get into the semi-final. Through the last gate and looking like a time that could challenge our current race lead. 1:09.15. Well done, into third place and importantly there into tomorrow's semi-final. So a 2-second penalty added on towards the bottom of the course, but still into the semi-final for Oisin Farrell in 5th place. So what does that mean? Oscar McBurney, who held the lead for so long, currently in 6th place. Well done. You are into the semi-final tomorrow. So we've got 4 places still to allocate in the final part of the competition. On course at the moment, it's Johnny Akinyemi, a double Olympian from London 2012, Rio 2016, again having to go again on the second runs. So if Johnny is to make it into the semi-final without a wait, he needs to go quicker than David Patterson on 1:13.12. And we'll have to wait and see. So in and out of the last upstream gate. One more gate to go for Johnny Akinyemi, but already outside of the qualifying time, in my opinion. So a 2-second penalty picked up on gate 13, and Johnny Akinyemi into 25th place. So it's bad news for Johnny. Well, that's where the complication, the ICF World Ranking event, some of the international panels may well be included. But David Patterson provisionally into the semi-final. So 3 places still to be allocated. At the moment, Alan Hawkes waiting next in line patiently as our next finisher comes down the course. And that is Dimitri Marx of Switzerland. But drifting over the finish line, so is that a problem for the young Swiss paddler? Well, we'll have to wait and see, because it's a quick time, 1:01.92, and into first place. So obviously for Dimitri Marx, is that a bit of tactics going on? He knows he's had a good run, and he crosses through the finish line. Well, 1:01.92. So, looking at that, Dimitri Marx was a great run time, but 2 50-second penalties mean he is going to struggle to get into the semi-final. So, that means Alan Hawkes, you are into tomorrow's semi-final. We have 2 more places to allocate. Lewis McDermott currently sitting on the bubble outside, and it's whether our next competitor, Manuel Munch of Switzerland, can get inside the time of 1:15.84, and he can. Manuel Munch of Switzerland, 1:04.15, and if that's clean, because we're still waiting for confirmation of penalties, then that would mean a place in the semi-final for Manuel Munch of Switzerland. So, the order as it stands at the moment is Manuel Munch of Switzerland in first, Mike Dickinson in second, Johnny Dixon in third, Jake Brown in fourth, Conor Lenihan in fifth, Oisin Farrell in sixth, Oscar McBurney in seventh, David Patterson in eighth, Alan Hawkes in ninth, and Lewis McDermott in 10th place. So those are the provisional results. And I emphasise provisional because obviously that's still subject to any appeals, any protests. But that concludes the men's kayak heats. And we pretty much know the 40 qualifiers through to tomorrow's semi-finals. And we do know that the winner of the first heat with a 92.39, Joe Clark, the Olympic champion of Rio 2016, will go off last on the basis of his winning that first run quite convincingly ahead of Bradley Forbes, Kynes, the Flying Scotsman, Zach Allen and Chris Bowers. That was the top 4 earlier three to go in this morning's action, and that's the C1 Women's second run of the heats. 31 competitors racing for 30 places in the semi-final. So unfortunately, we will lose one of these competitors in the heats. And we're underway. The top 20 went through earlier on. Earlier on, we saw Mallory Franklin of Windsor and District Canoe Club take the honours. She'll go off last in the semi-final tomorrow. We saw Kimberly Woods, the European champion, make quite a big mistake on gate 16 to 17, I think it was, and ended up comfortably into the semi-final, but she won't be going off in her position that she's accustomed. She will be going off something like 7th from last. That is an opportunity to put a good run down, put the pressure on those still to come, but it certainly wasn't part of the original plan. So I'm just going to get a breath, and then I will be back with the final part of the women's C1 second run heats of the 2017 British Open qualification for tomorrow's semi-finals. So we're into the second runs of the women's C1 canoe singles, and these athletes are kneeling in the boat. They have a single-bladed paddle rather than in the kayaks that we've just seen. The men's kayaks were sitting in the boat with the legs out in front of them with a double-bladed paddle. So C1 women is going to make its debut in the Tokyo 2020 Olympic program, and a great opportunity for this discipline, this event, to really showcase how much it's progressed in the time since 2009. I think when it first made its debut as a demonstration event at the World Championships in Spain in 2009. So 11 years on, it will make its debut at the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. So at the bottom part of the course, it is Ray McPherson of Broadbin Canoe Club, and wearing bib number 22. Joanna Blythe Shields was our first starter. I think, unfortunately, she didn't manage to complete her run, so that obviously won't count for a result. Next up the top of the course is bib number 30, Vanessa Humphreys, just coming into the upstream gate 4 in the distinctive red, white and blue triangle design boat. Now, by my calculations, there are 10 paddlers in this second run of the heats and 10 places up for coming into the upstream gate 10. Clear on the top 4 gates. And Bray McPherson leading the way at the moment. Total time 2:17.69, but importantly for her, enough to go into tomorrow's semi-finals. They all start from zero, the race in reverse order of today's performance, and clearly anyone qualifying through the second round will effectively be qualifying in 21st place because the top 20 from the first runs are already through. So now at the top of the course, just coming through gate 2 and gate 3, it's Ella Redfern of Home Pierpont Canoe Club now. Coming through gate 3, very tidy through 3 to 4. That's how to do it, Etienne Scott. If you want to take the idea, then very nicely done by Ella Redfern there from gate 3 to 4. That's got a few people out, not really in terms of penalties, but time on the clock, including Etienne Stott earlier on his kayak run. Etienne will join me, Etienne, the Olympic champion from London 2012, will join me in the commentary box this afternoon, now that he's safely banked himself a spot in tomorrow's semi-final. Now we're watching Ella Redfern come through gate 9. Didn't get it on first attempt, but now nicely through, surfing the wave, now needing to get high across to the upstream gate 10. Hannah Clements into second place and into the semi-final. So quite a few penalties out there in the C1 women's heats, second runs of the heats. But I think really important to look at how this class has progressed through the course of the last 10 years, really, in terms of domestically. It has grown, and I guess credit to a lot of people there, but in particular, I think some of our athletes, Kimberly Woods, Mallory Franklin, Jasmine Royal, Ailey Gibson. There's a long list of people that have, I guess, been the pioneers of C1 women and have really flown the flag for other people. Kate Kent, there's Jacqueline Bradshaw. There's a whole list of people, and now the event is really strong. A lot of people doubling up in the women's kayak and the women's canoe categories. As down now towards the final 3 gates of the course comes Ella Redfern. Vanessa Humphrey is our new race leader. So well done, Vanessa. You're in the semi-final tomorrow. Bray McPherson in second place. Hannah Clements in third. And so Ella Redfern next to finish. One more gate stands between her and a place in the semi-final. And looking comfortable. I don't want to speak too soon, but for the current race lead. So into race lead, 171.25 total. That includes 8 seconds of penalties, but that is pending just a couple of gates at the bottom to be confirmed. So as we look now at the middle part of the course, next boat to finish will be Jada Senar, an independent paddler under 16 years of age, bib number 28, now coming into the upstream gate 18. In and out nicely, the race lead time 173.25, that's the time to beat to take the win and effectively 21st place in this qualification competition. Jada Senar now nicely into 21. Now, has she got enough energy in the arms to get into 22? A little bit wash low, switches across, but comfortably now. One gate away from a place in the semi-final, but it looks like a recirculation is required. It's no big drama, but it is important to get back for that gate and bank that place in the semi-final. So, down the bottom of the course, Jada Senar going for a place in the semi-final. She won't be inside the current race leader, Ella Redfern of Home Pierpont Canoe Club, but into second place provisionally. And and that time 184.20. So next on the course is in the middle part, Sophie Winfield of Home Pierpont Canoe Club coming out of the upstream gate 15. Sophie clean on the top 8 gates of the course. Now negotiating across from 16 to 17. Needed to use the water, use the wedge now, flick the bows round and keep in contact with the upstream gate 18. So easy on that gate to get flushed at the last minute. The bows get washed away. You end up low in the eddy and giving away 3, 4, 5 seconds just in the blink of an eye. Now through gate 20, running into the upstream 21. Then Sophie Winfield of Home Pierpont Canoe Club in Nottingham just coming into the upstream. It's still Ella Redfern leading the way again for Home Pierpont Canoe Club. Her total 173.25. But can Sophie Winfield challenge that time? It's going to be close as she sprints towards the finish. And pending any penalties, we have a new race leader, Sophie Winfield, provisionally into first place, 169.16. And looks like all penalties are in. And it's Home Pierpont Canoe Club leading ahead of Home Pierpont Canoe Club. So 7 boats are down, 3 boats still to go in this, the second run of the C1 Women's Heats. Plenty of other things to do today here at the Lee Valley Whitewater Centre. The sun is still shining, and this event, part of the British Canoeing Super September series. You can follow what's going on Twitter, hashtag Super September, and at British Canoeing is where you'll find all the information on Twitter. Also through our Facebook page, British Canoeing. Then we're going to have a lunch break very shortly within the canoe slalom competition before we get underway with the women's kayak, the C1 men and the C2 qualification. And then at the moment on the course, in fact, soon to start will be the Nottingham Freestyle League on tour here on the Legacy Channel. So freestyle will be going on the Legacy Channel from 1 o'clock. Then on the Legacy Channel we'll have the qualification for the Boatacross competition, and the Boatacross competition will actually have its final on the Olympic Channel later on this evening under floodlights. And we've already seen the rafting going on the Legacy Channel, the racing, and then later on today we'll have the head-to-head rafting on the Olympic Channel. So a full day of action here at the Lee Valley Whitewater Centre. We've also got opportunities if you want to have a go yourself. If you've just come in, you wonder what all the noise is, and welcome to the Lee Valley Whitewater Centre. It is the British Open 2017, run by British Canoeing, the British Canoeing Slalom Committee, supported by a raft of dedicated volunteers who we thank. And you too can have a go. There's opportunities to have a go on the lake. Qualified instructors, we don't charge, so we just want you to find out what's so great about the sport of canoeing. Lots of different opportunities. If you don't fancy white water, that's fine. There's lots of opportunities. There's flat water sprints, there's flat water marathon, there's flat water sailing, or you can get involved in canoe surfing, canoe slalom, canoe river racing, canoe polo, rafting, stand-up paddleboarding, and I'm sure I've missed a few, so apologies if I missed your discipline. So let's get back to the racing. Evie Fletcher has just gone into the race lead. Evie Fletcher has gone in 163.82 for Home Pierpont Canoe Club, and ahead of Sophie Winfield, Ella Redfern, so it is a Home Pierpont lockout in the top 3 at the moment. But still 2 paddlers to go on course. It's non-dingle. Just coming through the final gate, non-dingle of Serendure Canoe Club. Now looks like Non has had 2 touches so far. Touch on gate 7, touch on gate 12. A few bits of time lost, but importantly for her, into the semi-final tomorrow. So, final competitor on course, Evie Watson, wearing bib number 13 for Home Pierpont Canoe Club, is now coming down into the upstream gate 21. 2 gates stand between Evie and a place in tomorrow's semi-final. And of course, it's all about racing to get position. Reverse order of the second runs of today's performance is going to determine the start order for the semi-finals tomorrow. So we know Mallory Franklin, on winning the first run, is going to go off last tomorrow. But let's just confirm there. Evie Watson into 4th place. So Evie Fletcher wins the second runs and will go off in about 11th off, something like that. No, 21st off. I don't know. I'll tell you later. But ultimately, Mallory Franklin will be last off in the semi-final tomorrow. And well done to all our qualifiers into the semi-final. And I'll give you an update on what's going on in just a few moments' time. But that concludes the K1 Men